Facebook, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? It's Phantom J. It's Phantom J. Man, I just got back in the D yesterday on my vacation, man. You caught me live in Vegas, man. I'm back in Dallas right now, man. We want to speak to everybody tonight, man. You know, we got to speak on the podcast tonight. We always have it 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, man. Tonight, you can see it on the wall. The title of our subject tonight: why so many couples are saying being faithful in your financial contributions to the household aren't enough in today's relationships. Man, we're gonna talk about that tonight. Man. But we're gonna get right to it. We're gonna get right to the news, man. And I just want to see everybody's faces. What's going on, man? What's happening? Hey, we just gonna get right into the news, man. I want to get into it real quick because there was some things that happened. We heard about the black teen that got shot in the head after knocking on the wrong door. He's doing well. He's recovering. The young brother he's 16 years old. His name is Ralph Yarl. He's doing well. The man that shot him was 84-year-old Alexander Lester. The young man, he went to the wrong household and to go get his siblings. He was told to go get his siblings, but he went to the wrong household. And when Andrew Lester opened the door and seen a young man, he shot him. And he said that he felt that like his life was threatened, but when he shot the young man in the head, he shot him again. So the young man was able to get up. He ran to a few houses. To get some help, and nobody would help him. And when in his picture, his lawyer Lee Moret, he's speaking, and he said that Ralph is at home and recovering. How the bullet in his head did not cause any extensive damage is a true miracle. To God be the glory. The Kansas City teen was shot after knocking on the wrong door, man. And we gonna pray for Mr. Young Yarl, young black male, man. And we always know as individuals, man, we endangered species, man. What's up, Jay? What's going on?
What's up?
You all right?
I'm chilling.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm running through this news. Also, man, we got Alabama teen, uh, Alabama teen in Dayton killed in Tesla car crash hours after the prom. Madison Sims, 17, and Samuel Brown had just attended their school prom hours before the crash. They were pronounced dead after officials arrived at the scene on Skyland Boulevard East intersection 20 or 59, according to a teacher of Sims who attended Paul W. Bryan High School. The high school students were shining an example to everyone she came in contact with. 48 hours after her death, her school had a balloon released in honor of Sims. These young teens, they were just going to the prom. They went to the prom, and a few hours early, man, they were dead in the car crash. I rode in a Tesla. Teslas can get away from you, man. And if you're not careful and you got a lot of power in that Tesla, man, that Tesla, you can get away from that Tesla and have unfortunate events. Not saying that's what happened. So we're praying for the young couples, family. Man, you just leaving the prom and this happened to you. So we want to keep them in our prayers. Also, we want to deal with two brothers, along with three others who are accused of carrying out a deadly shoot Sweet 16 party in Alabama. Authorities announced 4 young people were killed in the shooting late Saturday night at a dance in the town of Dadeville, Alabama. The arrest of 19-year-old Willie George Brown Jr. on Thursday brought the total of people charged to 5. Johnny Latron Brown was arrested earlier Thursday. On Tuesday, Alabama law enforcement officials announced the arrest of identified of Tyreek McClout. He was 17. Travis McClout, 16. Both from Tuskegee, and another 20-year-old Wilson Lamar H. Jr. Lamar Hill Jr. was arrested Wednesday. First of all, though, Jay, what 20-year-olds doing at a teen party? That's what I want to know. What 20-year-olds are doing at an 18 party, 16, 17-year-old are doing at a teen party. It says, make no mistake, this is Alabama, and when you pull a gun and you start shooting, people were going. The district attorney, Mike Segets, said that 2 brothers were charged as adults. CBS News typically does not name the suspects, who are minors usually. They're being charged as adults for serious crimes. So you want to hurt people, man, you 20 years old. 20 years old at a teen dance and you shoot somebody. That's the craziest thing in the world, man. The world is crazy, man, and we just gotta take heed of that, man. The world is going, man, in the way people are going, man. I'm just getting back from Vegas and Milwaukee, and I've been to Monroe. Hopefully I'll be going out. I came back to Dallas because I had a little stipple. Came back to Dallas because I was switching atmospheres and had to recoup a little bit. But hopefully I can get to DC real soon because I want to end my trip with DC. But man, it's a lot going on. A lot of teen violence. Man, a lot of young people dying. For just going out being teenagers. I remember it was a time, man, it didn't happen. That was rare and few in between when we were coming up. But times are different. Things are going on right now, man, and we just got to pray. Some people, that's what's happening to them now, man, and what's going on. So right now, man, we just gonna get into what's happening with that and in the world today, man. We just got to watch ourselves, watch the babies. Hold your babies and let them know, hey, man, you got to be safe out there. I can only imagine, those that have children, man, you being a parent, the type of stress and anxiety you may have, or you just pray for your children when they go out, because we don't know what's going to happen, as the end result, of our children going out, and will they ever come back? So we just want to salute everybody, man, for raising their children right and doing the best that you could, for your children. And we're just thanking Almighty God, that we still here, and those that have their children, they're still here, man. But we're gonna pray for those that have lost their children for senseless violence, man. Tonight, man, we dealing with it tonight, man. So we're gonna go into it, man. Why so many couples? What's going on with the couples tonight, man? We're gonna look at it again. It says why so many couples are saying being faithful in your financial contributions to the household aren't enough in today's relationships. Why is it you aren't enough in today's relationships? We're gonna talk about that, man. With back then when we were coming up, I know when I was coming up, man, if the couple they raised their children, they put money to the side, they helped their children go to college, whatever they could to help their children. They didn't look at it as that's not enough. When you're dealing with a family and you have children, the roles that you play, man, it has to be essential for the development of a family. What's up, Black?
Hey, what's happening with you?
We're gonna talk about that tonight, man. So we're gonna get that done tonight and see what's happening with that.
Another day.
Yeah.
You covered the news and everything.
Everything.
Oh, the Austin on here tonight. What's happening, man? Looking good, my brother. Looking good. I was so used to the avatar, on the no screen, but yeah, you looking good, man.
I decided to pop on for a minute,
Okay.
Yeah.
I know we know this your Fatima night.
Right.
Well, the wife is at work right now, so.
Oh, okay. We better take advantage of this.
Yeah, we got to
right.
Because when she come home, I got to shut it down.
Right.
So
Black, what we talking about? Black?
Oh yeah, let's give a shout out. Y'all know this 420 day. Everybody, all the smokers is celebrating today. So it's 420. So shout out to everybody celebrating 420. And the thing that's going on with the 420 with me that I don't understand, this is one of the most, I don't know, crazy. I don't get it. Holiday, I'm gonna say day of recognition for the smokers because they smoke every day anyway, but yet they get excited on 420. I never understood that because my thing would be if it's 420, the only people that should get excited would be those occasional smokers, like the ones that only smoke when friends or family come from out of town, holidays, and everybody else hit, and they say, I might as well just hit. But if you smoke every day anyway, why do you get excited about 420? I don't get it. I think too much. So you gotta
I guess it's kind of like freak meat. You know what I'm saying? You're a freak here anyway.
No, because freak meat is an event. No, it's an event though. So they have car shows and different things like that.
It's the same thing though.
But it's not an everyday
feeling.
But it's not an everyday thing. It's like, okay, let's just say
folks out there being freaks every day.
Let's just say, but freak meat
are the ones that they even show their ass off even more when they go to freak meat.
Right, like you said, even more. So, but waking up every day smoking. I'm just saying, just like let's just say if an alcoholic, he wake up drinking, he go to bed drinking every day. Then we have a national drink day. And he just so excited and he's still drinking the same old gin, the same old vodka, the same old drink, Stella Port that he drank last night. So I think if you're going to celebrate, I think 420 need to be celebrated by the ones that don't really smoke. And it's their day to go get high with their buddies that do smoke. But if you just wake up every day and you smoke every day, what's so special about a day that they just, okay, this 420 National Smoke Day. And so you get high every day anyway. It's like if Christmas was every day, it wouldn't be let's wait till December 25th. Or,
it really is just something to do something, just to say it's a day.
But they do it every day anyway.
That's what I'm saying. It's just a day for them to say it's a special day.
I guess, man. That's like I said, that's one of the most unrecognizable day that I just can't. you know. And you got people I'm talking about that just they bought a ounce and they down to half an ounce from last week, and they smoking today like it's their first time smoking a blunt. And I'm like, but I think too much, so never mind that. Shout out to Jackie Edmonds. We call him Pooh. Today is his birthday in Bastrop, Louisiana. And him and I used to throw some 420 parties because it's his actual birthday. And he would cook because he's a little chef down there in Bastrop. And we would throw parties and pack out. Cars all up and down the road. I'm playing Boosie, smoking on purple. I'm playing that I got 5 on. I got all that the weed stuff in the mix. And and everybody just turning up. That Dr. Dre and Snoop, that Chronic. So, I mean, I get the celebration for the ones that don't smoke every day. I just feel like it need to be the ones that need to get excited is the occasional smokers are the ones that don't smoke. It's 420. I'm gonna smoke with y'all tonight. And I got my boy made. And then they hook me up with some exotic. They got some runts. They got some, you know what I'm saying? They got some cookies, you know what I'm saying? They got some exotic shit for me. Then I get fucked up with them for that one day. And then I'm back into the holiday. Now I'm waiting on Thanksgiving and Christmas, you know what I'm saying? But the everyday smoker, I don't see the excitement. But like I said, that's just me. I think too much as it is. But what topic y'all on? Shit, where we at? Shit, I just hit a couple. I just got to hitting some exotic. So where we at? Where we on?
You got the subject up.
Oh, okay. 420.
No, we done with 420.
I'm like Martha, what song we on?
We done with 420.
I'm about to say smokers like it because there's deals of stuff you can get. Okay, so they have they give y'all discounts. So you can get a 3.5 for like $25 on this day. You can get some good exotic discounted. You can get a 7 for what, 30? Later on in the thing, if somebody can elaborate on that, y'all can chime in before we get too deep into the topic. But yeah, now if they got, I mean, I could see, especially if it's legal in that city, they have everybody lined up selling the vape pipes and different, especially in Cali. They got deals and you can get to try the moon rocks and the different shit, I forgot the name of that other strand. But you get to try them for a discounted, rate. They have their you get giving away $10 pre-rolls.
It's like Halloween.
Yeah.
You get
I can see if it's like
candy.
that.
You get candy every day. You get candy.
Don't say that, man, because I'm trying to make myself understand it. Don't go back to the everyday thing because you fucking my head up because I don't see the purpose. So I was good because the guy said they good deals, and I was okay. I can see like Bourbon Street, they got it lined down, different vendors. Hey, I got this. Hey man, try this moon rock, man. You get 7 grams for $25, and then it's a deal. I can see that, but don't go back to the smoking everyday thing, man. That's crazy. I was good till you said that, man. You still know how to pull my trigger. What was the topic though? I know we was talking about what's the topic?
We were talking about let's see, we gonna get it. Why
who we gonna piss off tonight? Okay, there we go. Why so many couples saying being faithful in your financial contribution to the household aren't enough in relationships these days. Okay. Yeah, I see that a lot on social media. Being a good man ain't good enough. Being a good woman is not good enough. So I see that all the time. And I just feel like because and once again, I have to salute social media. I think social media have the people unappreciative on both sides. The men are unappreciative with the women, and the women are not appreciative with the men because of things they're seeing, the highlights they're seeing on social media. And I often compare it to mom and pops, grandma, and all them. And they say, "Oh, them days are gone," but they were more appreciative. I mean, you know, they fought, they cheated and all that, but it wasn't as advertised and praised as the modern day people do it. Back in the day, if the husband went out and he bought he went to the car lot and came home with a Fifth Avenue or Cadillac or something like that, even a Ford FTD, whatever the hell it was, she was appreciated. She was appreciative to get that vehicle. We see videos live where men try to surprise women with cars, and she looking like, that ain't what I wanted. You know, and it'd be nice cars, but it wasn't the Lexus that Sharon from her job husband got her 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's an instant competition type deal. A more back then we used to say keeping up with the Joneses, but now they want to be the Joneses. Back in the day, they try to keep up with them. Now they want to be them and surpass them. So it's like, I think the appreciation and the true love and respect is missing today. That's what I think.
I don't even think it existed back then, but the thing is,
they respected each other back then.
They didn't respect each other. They just did what they did.
They did what they did, but I'm saying it was more respect. Like,
no, they pretended to respect. Hell, they couldn't go out and get it on their own. But
in
public,
on their own. In public.
So they're like, nigga, this ain't nothing. I can go get this myself.
How many couples back then though, in Phantom chime in, would you see fussing, fighting, and arguing at Walmart? You see that 24/7, 5 and 6 couples. You could tell who mad at who. My people, I didn't know, we wouldn't know, the public wouldn't know they was mad at all. I would know by watching the demeanor in her eyes, and then when they get home, I heard it. Now women don't respect me. They don't respect me.
That's a different thing.
Yeah, they don't respect.
Now I agree with you there. They didn't let their fights be displayed in public.
Right. Now they don't give a woman now go again 140-pound woman curse her 285-pound simp out at a grocery store now. Cause cause the rules are red. If he touch her, especially in public, and they like that, he going to jail. So I think they show their ass like that because they know they have the leverage because they're not going to jail. But what our men today are not doing, they're not showing that woman that it's consequences and repercussions. I ain't saying walk around here and beat her ass, but on the same note, she don't need to be beating yours either. You know, so that respect level, it's a lot of beta males coming out of these single parent homes with the woman being the head of the household, and the men are simps. A lot of them are coming out simps, or they really don't give a damn because everybody have options thanks to social media. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you've seen a lot of guys that I don't want to say coward down, but they allow their significant other to go ahead and clown however she want to clown, slap them in public, cuss them out, do whatever, disrespect them all kind of ways, and they stay with them because some of them feel like they don't have any other options, even though we see all these options out here available. They don't feel like they got the best in the world. You know what I'm saying? But it's somebody out there with some better than theirs.
Right.
So they and then sometimes these dudes, they might be in that generation that don't believe in working. So the chick is out there working. They sitting at home watching the kids or playing video games all day.
I mean, and you call them men? I'm talking about men. Them the both.
A lot of men don't have that problem.
That's right.
A lot of men don't have that problem.
Now I've seen, and I think I sent y'all some videos. It be 35, 40-year-old men going through that crap. And they getting low self-esteem. Men be on social media crying because of the way I was watching some interview. I'm trying to think of who it was. And the guy was like, I'm just about to ready to give up because his woman treated all this type of way. He got tears coming down his eyes. I'm like, dang it. When did it come to this? You know what I'm saying? It's like
when women start making more money.
Women start making more money, but on the same note, there's more women out there for men now too.
But men don't feel like they feel like they can't get anything better than what they have.
Why?
Hell, I don't know. It ain't me.
I'm just so, but I'm saying it's so many single. It's like because of I'm gonna say the alphabet crew. Then you got the strictly gay. Then you got the incarcerated. Then you got the ones that's dying of street violence. Then you got now they killing themselves. So the black man as a whole numbers are decreasing. So when the black male number decrease, that means the female number increase. So that sets off that male to female ratio where it's damn near 15, 20 women to one man. And if that's the case, these guys sitting around here living back in the 90s and early 2000s when you just had to be a superstar to get a female. Look, they need to break that chain.
Once someone gets comfortable in a relationship, even if it's toxic, they rather stay in that than go find something that's better than what they're in because they feel like, hey, this is the best situation I'm gonna be in. I'm comfortable in this. I know this. I don't have to go out and learn anything else.
So he's comfortable different. And getting cursed out, being disrespected,
all that,
being cheated on,
all
being
that,
talked to less than a man,
all that.
They comfortable in that,
all that,
and that's supposed to be a real man.
I don't know what they are, but that's what they do.
No. So that's what I think.
Okay with that.
They got a men
just like some men are okay with their wife going out working, and they staying at home. Some men are okay with that.
But I mean, on that situation, we in the household, if it's benefiting them, we don't know whether they can't find daycares. They don't want the kids going to daycares because of all the trauma and drama that's happening at the damn daycare.
But dealing with the taking care of the household. I mean, it's like you.
On that topic, we already talked about it. We know how you feel about that. But on that topic,
but you got a solution for that. But you think that every man got the same opportunity as every other man, and that's not necessarily true because if it was, everybody would be the same. Everybody would have the same.
You got the same 24 hours in a day. You have the same 24 hours in the day that I have. You have the same 24 hours in the day that the Austin have.
Yeah.
So you wake up. Once you wake up,
all right, man.
You have that same 24. How you utilize that 24 hours is on you.
Hey, you got a lot of them out there like that. You need to. You need to
have. They sell themselves short.
You need to
the
have
brain, the mental, your brain will have you thinking.
Right.
You can't get up. You can't get up and run up that street.
But you would tell a woman to help you in your household when you the provider of the household. You would tell a woman to go have and she working. But you say a man, you can get the solution for a man finding a woman. And every man gonna find a way, and it don't work like that's how it's been in civilization since civilization been on Earth.
Right, but also in civilization,
some people gonna have children. Some people are never gonna be married. Some people gonna be chased. Some people, it's gonna happen. it ain't nothing you can do about it. I don't care what you say. It's nothing you can do about it. And there's plenty of you guru-minded brothers that got the sunshine on this side for relationships, but it don't work like that. Some people die by themselves. Some people, they go through the relationship but try to meet somebody and get started all the time. They get destroyed by that. Some men, they can't shake back from that. You can. Like you say, you can walk around with a broken leg. The next man probably can't do that. You can suck up pain.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I guess the reason I think like that, and like I say, you may be right, but Pops taught me.
I'm right. I know I'm right. Pops, Pops don't represent the whole, and you can't put that narrative out to everybody else.
That's why I said he taught me.
It's possible, but it's not necessarily the reality, and you got to let people do what they do. If they may not ever find nobody, it's just like women. Some women gonna die by themselves, and some women have. Some men have died by themselves. I know some men that were scientists, that were chemists, dead on the street, froze to death. It happens, bro, and they never had children, and they had something to offer. But something happened to them, bro, that they could not do that no more. So you keep spin that narrative, and you keep spinning that narrative that it's for everybody, but everybody don't find a mate. Black, it's just. That's what I'm telling you. Just not.
But everybody has the opportunity to.
Everybody has the opportunity, but a lot of us settle for what we can get.
Well, what's wrong?
A lot of us but a lot of people settle for what they can get, but they not necessarily be happy.
But you're not dying alone though, and you got somebody.
Man, who cares about being with somebody that you really don't want to be with?
Okay, well,
because a lot of people. I know a lot of people. Who cares about that? You still by yourself if you with somebody you ain't want to be with.
Okay, my thing is
responsible for dealing with that person, and you don't want to be with that person.
Today's
but that's
society gives you more opportunities to find who you really want. They out there. They out there. They out there.
Okay. And 50% of men are single. And
they single, right? And low and sorry as fuck.
They ain't sorry as fuck.
They scared to find what they want. They scared to go after what they want.
You probably work for them and don't know it. They probably done built the house you in and you don't know it. So
they probably made a brick. But that's not my concern. My thing is this here though.
But that's in reality and in civilization.
I'm also tell you reality.
And then they ain't gonna be less than a person because they haven't found nobody. You just
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
But that's what you said. They sorry as fuck. That's what you said. You can't tell men that. You can't tell people that. You don't know what people their state of mind is. You don't know what happened to them in their life. They probably one hit away from knocking a woman out and dumping her on her head because of what has happened to him.
What Denzel said in Training Day, you got to do what you got to do. But on the cool, Pops taught me if one person can do it, if one person can do it, another man can do it.
Everybody ain't had your pops, bro.
If one person can do it, another person can do it.
Everybody ain't had.
I remember taking when I was in advanced math. I kept coming home.
In advanced math.
I kept coming home with C's and D's.
Right.
That wasn't tolerated in my house. I had to have B's and A's.
You got to talk to the masses.
When I was coming home with the C's and D's, they say, "What's the problem?" And I say, "I can't get it." I say, "I don't know. I just can't get it." He say, my best friend at that time was Letitia Sawyer. He say, "Is Letitia passing the class?" I say, "Yes, sir." He said, "Well, goddamn it, if Letitia can pass the class, you can too. If one other person," he said, "there's no such thing as can't. If one other person can do it, then goddamn it, you can do it too."
You can do it too.
And I applied myself. And I brought my C and D up to a high C. And then I finally dipped into a B right before graduation.
And still haven't found that true love. That happens. Sometimes that happens for people once in a lifetime. A lot of times people are with people who they can settle with and say, hey, okay, it's something like a lot of women. They probably didn't had a lot of men in their life and settle down. Men know their reputation. They gonna settle down with somebody probably that don't know them, or they married this individual and be with him. And a lot of times, it's sometimes that is the man that they want in their dreams, and a lot of times it's not. It's just he a good provider. He ain't necessarily what I have in my mind.
Okay.
But he's a good provider.
Okay,
So
when you say settling and finding somebody who, what y'all was saying, getting what you can get. Okay. When you say getting what you can get, are you talking about looks? Are you talking about
you just
financial?
You just finding somebody just to be with. You're not necessarily, it ain't, I done seen men be with people and they just with them and they say that. And they a lot of them didn't admit it to me, man. I'm just with a man. I don't got no place to stay. I'm just with a man because she been kind to me. She been with her because this, that, and the third. But that's that you got, and I'm trying to get you to see that you got men that are like that.
But they got somebody, huh?
Yeah, they got somebody that they don't want to be with.
But they able to get somebody.
You don't got nobody. You don't got nobody. Jay, you don't got nobody.
They have an opportunity.
You don't got nobody if you with somebody that you don't want to be with. Period.
Hey, some people have to be with people out of necessity.
Hey, but I'm just telling you this.
No. My thing, no, don't say that, Jay. The deal is this.
No, that's true.
If you can't,
have always been that.
If you can't get the looks, then you go for personality. You can't get personality, then you go for that pocketbook.
Most people are not going to do that.
It's levels to the shit.
Most people ain't going to do that. You playing, but most people ain't going to do that. Now, some people just get in and you miserable. You with somebody you really don't want to be with.
Well, it's get people somebody like you that. Almost want to be with.
It's like that.
Get closest to you can.
Like that. If you got a list of 10, if you can find somebody that meets 7, all
right, man,
get that 7.
Right,
they out there, big man.
Everybody's not gonna be perfect. You're not gonna find it. Just like when you're trying to find
everybody is not gonna be perfect, but some people. Yeah, you got a lot of people out there that are by themselves and they are single. They by themselves. It's just what it is. We as black people, we got all of the answers when it comes to linking up with somebody. We don't got no answer for anything else, but we got the answer for everything when it comes to linking up with somebody. But we can look at us, black women. 1 out of 4 of them gonna get married. 60% of them are not gonna be married.
Mandalia, why do you say people are settling? Why do people settle? Would you settle? I'm talking to Amanda now.
But we're talking about the numbers. I'm talking about numbers. That's 60%.
No. I'm asking a young lady. I'm asking a young lady in the chat. She said a lot of people are settling. I'm asking her why.
Yeah, Amanda, why people settling?
Why do you settle?
Why she
you nice? If she nice looking, she got a job, she doing her thing. Why are people settling? That seems like a personal low self-esteem thing to me.
That ain't no person because you
for somebody to settle.
For you to sit up there and talk about a math grade in advanced, most people in can't relate to that. You just talked about. You talking about advance, you got to speak to the layman man, somebody that can advance and talk about something on that level. You're talking on the level because you've been winning. You talking to the level because you've been winning. And when you're winning, you can't see that lens of the people that's been losing, that's been struggling, trying to get relationships. You can't, you don't have that advice on that.
You can say that, but I know coaches that have coached teams to championships that never touched a ball in their life. So that don't mean they don't know nothing about how to play ball.
Okay.
So
all right.
My thing is
the facts remain. 1 out of 4 black women, that's 6% of them won't get married. Only 4 out of 10 of them gonna get married.
Oh, man. And I'm sure that number is bigger now because
Yeah.
Don't nobody want to get married.
Yeah, maybe they don't want to get married.
The
No,
new
but
modern females,
we ain't talking about
the
the
modern
modern
females, they
We're
don't
not
want
talking-
marriage.
Why
They
not?
fine being
Why not?
hoes.
Why
They
not?
fine making their money.
Why not?
They
Why
fine being
not?
hoes.
Why
They
not?
fine going to the man that's gonna
Why
trick
not?
on them.
Because
They fine being
They
side
have
bitch.
a dude that can.
And
that
those
can
women
make
and
them
those
look
men, those women, those probably be the women that the men settle on. Don't necessarily want them, but that's who they settle on. They ain't
it's
necessarily
woman
that's something
settling
that
on
they
the man.
want. They ain't gonna wife. No, they not wifing them because that's not somebody they gonna settle on. I personally would never settle, but a lot of people settle because loneliness gets hard. A lot of people truly want and need to feel love, and they don't care how they get it.
That makes sense. They ain't okay.
Yeah.
She
And some
she
people
dropping
like
some
that.
knowleding. I'm like, I'm gonna leave her alone.
Some
She dropping a little knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
kind of
some
bag
people
out.
don't
But
like that, and that's just how it's been.
that
in
was deep.
civilization. Period.
Yeah, she broke it down. Okay, so people settle now because they don't want to
be
grow
better.
old and be lonely. So
Right.
they just whoever is available
That's
to
basically
them.
what Brizzle was saying.
Say what now?
He said he don't want to do that.
No, I'm
Who?
saying, but that's what he was saying that people do.
People
They're
do what,
settling.
Jay?
I'm
What'd you
saying
say, Jay?
that basically you were saying that people settle in a lot of cases because
And they not really happy. They're
not really happy because
They
it's
So
not
it's not
really
about happiness now.
No,
No, it's
because
about
they don't just
relationship.
like she said.
Opportunities.
They don't want.
We have more opportunities now
Miss
to divorce.
Magdalene.
To divorce. Hey, and this is fact too. Google this shit. This fact too. A man can find a good woman quicker than a woman can find a good man.
Hey,
So it's women out there. Men just
so this is coming from a single female. One of my friends, she can't chat in, but she was saying people are selling because they don't have the want anymore. They don't have any drive.
drive.
Right.
They don't have the drive.
It's not.
They don't have the drive.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and it said it's not what's her name? Anastasia. It said it is not about the woman you get or you can pull. Were they women of quality? That's what she asking you.
Because she said what?
Because she said it's not about the woman you can get a pull. Were they women of quality? That's the question she raising. Yeah, you can get a woman, but if it's somebody that's worth something,
you can find women that's worth something. You can't find her at the damn club.
Right.
You ain't gonna find her at no goddamn
You need to write a book then and tell everybody how they.
You know what? Hey, and Austin to tell you, we've been talking about that book, huh? We've been talking about that book since we was in high school. I just haven't had the time. I had to take the time out to patent it and put it out.
Y'all need to do that.
Yeah, man, and we just might. I mean, because the resources are easier now for us to put out. But you know what?
Because if you can work against the numbers and statistics, I'm going based off statistics.
Right, we going off reality.
Statistics can be skewed however you want to. I do statistics every day.
It's what's happening. It's what's happening.
We going off reality.
Yeah,
we out here in these streets. We out here in these streets.
You married and you married. You ain't going off in these streets. You going off your parents.
No. This is recent.
You had to be in the streets.
You had to be in the streets. We was in the streets at one point, right?
This is anecdotal, and this is your own personal. This is your own personal experience, not as the whole. Yeah,
everybody has their own personal experience.
You can have that rah-rah. You can have that rah-rah. You can get what you can. You can get the moon. You can get cherry pies on the moon. But the reality is, a lot of people are not doing that.
Why? Shoot for the stars. If you don't hit the stars, you're going to fall on the moon.
Right.
Why aren't people going after what they really want? Why aren't they? Because
they're afraid.
It's simple.
They scared. They're afraid. They see a nice looking woman and they get intimidated. They stick their tail between their legs and then they walk right by her, just like she just standing there. And he started when he was in Vegas. They just standing there. They don't. The men don't step to women like they should. You look at her hand. If she ain't wearing no damn ring, 8 times out of 10, she fair game. But they see that pretty woman, and then they freeze up.
Yeah, I'm not lead.
Yeah.
I can't get her.
I ain't gonna be able to get her. That woman wouldn't even look at me. So they sell themselves short. I'm gonna let her turn me down.
Okay.
I'm gonna let her turn me down.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Right.
Get out my face. That's what's up. But you do look nice, and move on to the next.
Right.
What I was taught, and they said this all in the songs, even Pebbles. There's more fish in the sea. The Whispers or something. There's more fish in the sea. When you come from that, and you knowing that it's other women out there, the one that turned you down or the man that turned you down,
bro,
there are more men out there. The buck don't stop there.
Your view is not really what the consensus of the people, because she just said, yes, it's true. Some men are intimidated.
Yeah.
So
intimidated from what?
Bro, you've been.
She put her pants on the same way you put yours on. If you cut that bitch, she gonna bleed red, just like you. What you intimidated for?
I mean, if you get turned down, you just get turned down. That just wasn't one for you. Keep it pushing.
Yeah.
But you can't stop because you feel like this one is out your league.
I'm just telling you.
Nobody's out my league. Nobody's out my league.
Nobody. Okay. Celebrities, nobody.
Yeah. How you doing, Desiree?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, Desiree. All right. We finna get chopped up, man.
No, they ain't gonna get no chopped up. We finna.
Nah, she finna speak from a woman's point of view. We've been arguing from male point of view.
Go ahead.
Dang.
Kick some knowledge, Desiree.
What's going on?
What's up?
We on here arguing about how hard it is. Well, men being intimidated by women. They can't find. They don't want to settle for this and that, and it's all over the place. I hope you was watching because we've been at it. We've been woo.
Yeah, I was watching like the last 15 minutes. Y'all been
okay. So you know where we at. So he's saying that it's not easy for a man to find a woman today, and I'm like,
no,
it's
I
like 20.
It's
like 20 women to one man.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you the numbers. How you got 50% of men that are single and childless. 50% of men that are single and childless. This is across the board. This don't have nothing to do with black, white. This is across the board. This is statistics, CDC. This is statistic wise. So you got single men that are childless and single. You have that in society. You're gonna have that.
We're gonna have it. We're gonna have men that's intimidated by a black woman. We're gonna have that. We're gonna have that
across the board. We're talking about. I agree with
Kirk said. Y'all scared. No effort.
We're gonna have that. We're gonna have the men that's afraid to step up and go after what he wants. We understand that. We're gonna have that. But if more men would step up and say something to the women instead of letting the hookies and chads, as y'all call them, get them, they can find women. But they see them and they are intimidated by her looks, intimidated by how she's dressed, the job she made, her profession, and they tucking their tail between their legs, and they not saying nothing to them. You'll be amazed of the woman who'd have been there, done that, that's just looking for a companion. She ain't messed up about looks no more. She ain't messed up about his bank account no more, because the women of the day are taking care of themselves. They just want a man to treat them right, be faithful,
all about your confidence,
and bring something to the table.
It's all about your confidence and how you present yourself.
Now that's a real woman. Majority of real women, they not sitting around looking for no man to take care of them. They taking care of themselves. They're more educated. They're getting paid more. A lot of them.
Since you can defy the statistics and what's put out there, and these probably not men that's intimidated, they probably just can't find a suitable mate. This ain't necessarily dealing with intimidation. This probably it could be a group of men that just can't find a suitable mate. They may want to have children.
He said dudes are just lazy. Dudes are just lazy, and social media has helped them with getting women.
Right.
Yeah, y'all lazy. You're lazy.
Right.
Men are lazy. if you trying to get a job paying $25 an hour, you're gonna have to put out some resumes. The job is not gonna find you. You have to find the job. And a lot of the men are getting frustrated because they're being their psyche is being shot down because of social media, because of the shit that they pushing out there. You seeing these women, you seeing these men, and then you thinking every woman that you see, whether you're trying to think this or not, you thinking every woman you see is gonna be twerking on social media, gonna be dressing half naked.
I'm gonna say
and then that make you say, I don't have time for that.
Let me try to find this. Let me try to find this YouTube, because it's just not me. I'm gonna try to find this YouTube while y'all just talking.
Find that. The brothers are so sad. They have to fly across the country.
Let me finish what I'm saying.
To meet women. They burn out on the women here. They thinking that every woman is like the woman they see on social media, so they don't approach nice women.
No, I think this deal is in Dallas. It was a social single mixer, and it was nothing but women there by themselves. This was for men and women, and they were by themselves. So
guess what?
Go ahead.
The reason they were by themselves is because I wasn't single, and the Austin wasn't single, and we wasn't in that city. Because if we were single and we was in that city, we would have went in there and we would have left about 8 phone numbers, and we would have hooked up about 3 or 5.
But you talking from your experience. You're not talking about
your confidence, man. Your confidence is everything. A woman don't want no man that's walking around there with his tail tucked between his legs. They not looking for that. They not looking for that.
You got a lot of men that don't got no confidence, because the numbers are showing.
Yeah, the numbers are showing because y'all are afraid. The men are afraid to step up to the women if they want.
All right, man.
Yeah, a lot of men see women dress nice, driving a nice car. She won't talk to me. I make $40,000 a year. She ain't gonna talk to me.
We talking about suitors. They talking about something suitable, something they can have, that they can build a family with, have a family with. They can build with that. A lot of men that are speaking.
There's plenty out there.
There are plenty of them out there. I know a few of them.
You know a few. No, you know a few of them. But people don't know you. People don't know you to hook up with you. They don't know you. It's a lot of men. It's a lot of men out there. It's a lot of men out there that don't have that, man. They don't make them less to the man because
she said they're intimidated because women are able to hold their own. And that's probably what's going on. Y'all seeing these women, the way they dress, their occupation, and you say, I only make $35,000 to $40,000 a year, and you tuck your tail in instead of saying, my $40,000 a year and her $60,000 a year, should we $100,000 a year niggas? We a power couple. You don't look at that. You tuck your tail and you walk right by. Right by. She give you your money at the bank. She give you your little $150 to $300 for rent. You get that and you go right on out. No ring on her finger, nothing. It ain't no, you look nice today and none of that. You don't flirt with them no more. Men are so damn intimidated, they don't even look the women in their face now. They just walk out.
Men feel like the women's supposed to come to them.
I know they don't.
A lot of men feel like the women's supposed to come to them.
No, they don't. They do. The younger generation do.
But you have a lot of dudes out here that just as pretty as the women.
Here it is. Let me show this.
And after this, you show
I'm not saying
we're gonna let Desiree talk.
I'm not saying this. I'm not speaking on no anecdotal. I'm not talking about this ray of sunshine.
This is statistics.
You can do it. I can do it. We talking about actual facts. What's happening on the ground? I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. And we talking about what's happening
we ain't talking about you. We ain't talking about you. We ain't talking about you because you can't solve no problem just dealing with you. You got to deal with facts, and that's what it is.
Okay, the statistical man. Let's go.
Now look, this in Dallas,
and only women showed up.
And just listen.
Y'all got some weak. Y'all got some weak
He
brothers.
tried to tell you.
Let's listen. Let's listen.
He tried to scream it at you. He tried to say it nicely. He tried to dress it up. He tried to put a Tom Ford suit on it. Nobody wanted to listen. Nobody wanted to listen.
This is now.
But here's the outcome.
And I'm gonna end it in a second.
This is the outcome. Look at this. This is sad. Beautiful young lady. Beautiful. In a room full of other.
Yeah. Y'all got some weak brothers down there. I agree with him.
Check this
That's
out. Wait a
sad.
second.
That's real
Check
sad.
this out. Check this out.
That's
Check
sad.
this out. Check this out. And the consensus said that a lot of men don't approach women nowadays because of the insults.
Yeah.
Because they get insulted when they, hey, how you doing? My name is such and such. Is Desiree still? Okay. Is Desiree, do I got you? Oh, okay, there you go. There you go. You such and such. Hey, my name is such and such. Oh, weak, broke ass nigga, dusty ass nigga. What you doing and you laughing with your friends?
Right.
Saying them old broke, dusty ass nigga. I don't want to talk to you.
Well,
and a lot of men, wait a second.
Go ahead.
You doing that. You cannot solve a problem by how you view it. It's what these men are experiencing. And those are valid reasons. Who wants to be in? Who want to walk up there and get embarrassed and have a woman tell you, old dusty broke ass nigga, I don't want to talk to you.
Let me tell you
Nobody
this.
wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that.
Let me tell you this though.
When they facing that reject, they face enough of that.
Are they
don't
looking
want
dusty and broke?
They not, but they not looking dusty. These are professional men that are saying this, that make money.
Right. But guess what? Guess what though? I feel what you're saying.
You can be
I feel what you're saying.
All right, man. You got the answers, Black. You got all the answers, and I'm telling you what they're experiencing.
I got them, right. But guess what? Guess what though? Guess what? And I'm finna give you facts. Guess what?
You ain't giving me facts. You give me how you feel, and I'm showing you what they doing and what they saying. Hey,
I'm finna give you facts.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that.
Baby, I'm finna give you facts. The fact is this here. The fact that them niggas didn't go out there to meet them women.
It ain't them niggas. When you out there coming and approaching a woman, you can turn it if you want.
They didn't go out there and approach them women, no. They were too weak and intimidated to go out there and approach them women. If one of them would have got off their ass, they making the initial attempt to talk to the women, and the women are dissing them. That's what a lot of men are saying. Dude, anybody got a
not every woman is dissing them.
So I can.
So you get scared after one woman diss you.
It ain't no one woman diss them. When they talking to the women,
all right, so well,
you don't want to do that because you ain't Jay. You ain't experienced. If you have not experienced that, you can't relate to that. If you can't experience, Jay, if you can't experience, Jay, if you have not, Jay, if you have not experienced that, Jay, if you have not experienced that, you can't relate to that. You can't.
I'm just saying,
you can't. Neither one of you can relate to it. You talking. This are two men that ain't never experienced that. You've been winning since the sandbox, dealing with women. You can't tell nobody really nothing about rejection because you haven't got rejected.
I didn't play in the sand.
And then these experimental in dealing with the women you deal with, they just somebody you just, okay, let me see what's up with her. This ain't somebody you, and the women that you got rejected by ain't necessarily women you wanted. So when you dealing with men that's going up to women that they like, that they see and they like and they get rejected, that hurts. When they like this person and they going after this person, you've been winning since the sandbox. So y'all two point of views is really skewed.
No, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. I feel you. Let me ask you this. The brothers chose, since we speaking facts, right? That video you just showed, it was a mixer where they were trying to get, because they trying this here, Rashida and them, Rashida and
Monroe. They did it in Monroe. It wasn't no men that showed up.
Is he gonna let me talk?
Go ahead, man.
Okay.
I'm just making
Rashida and Yandy is trying to do that same thing right here. I got invited to it. They're trying to do it here in Atlanta. They're trying to hook up single people because everybody's saying they can't find no good person. So they trying this thing this weekend where they're trying to do a mixer. And the deal is this here with what happened with the Dallas situation. This facts. The men didn't even go to see. They so beat down, so low self-esteem.
Right.
Let me finish. They
Go
so
ahead.
beat down, so low self-esteem, so thinking that woman gonna turn them down. But guess what? If I never go and apply for that job, if I never go and taste the food in that restaurant, I would never know if I could get that job or what that food tastes like. They chose to sit their sorry asses at home reminiscing on some rejection from some old hood bitch or somebody that ain't never had shit that told them they wasn't nothing. Get out my face, some wannabe bougie bitch. And they let that stop them from meeting probably the woman of their life at that place where they had all them women in one location.
They sitting at home right
They
today
sitting at
talking about
home
I can't
mad
find a good
because
woman.
Shaquita told them to go get out their face. You don't make enough money for me if you don't get your broke, dusty, crusty looking ass off my face. And then you rank, they holding that in their head with their tail tucked between their legs. Y'all had all them beautiful women in one spot, and y'all stayed y'all low self-esteem, lame asses at home and didn't get nothing.
Right.
That's how I feel about it. Because you never know until you go.
And now they sitting at home downgrading black women, talking about they ain't no good, we can't get nobody, they keep turning us down, but you're not even trying. You're not even presenting.
You had all them beautiful women. Ain't nobody show up but women because the niggas intimidated.
This just not happening. This not happening in Dallas. It's happening. They did it. They did a mix in Monroe.
We're gonna see what they do in Atlanta.
We're gonna see. And then tell me if it's some weak ass niggas in Atlanta because they didn't come to the mix. We're gonna see. But I'm telling you how rejection is. Everybody don't handle rejection. We know y'all the king. Jay and DJ Black is the king of positive thinking and affirmation. You need to get a book. You need to be with Jim Rohn and all the top booksellers and motivational speakers in the country. We know that ain't nothing ever happened to you. We understand that. We know you're unscathed with rejection. We understand that. We understand that you're unscathed with rejection. We understand that. But the regular people that have experienced rejection time after time after time again, and they're afraid of that feeling, those are the ones that's not coming and they're not wasting their time. Or they probably dealing with some female and they don't want to be seen at that place. Though they've been rejected, they still dealing with somebody. But the woman that they dream, they probably don't have a woman that they dream.
They want to feel better about themselves.
But we know
a whole bunch of crackheads out there.
But we know
homeless women.
But we know both of you are unscathed, and you're speaking from the gelatis. We're speaking of the ice cream and peppermint dream.
I hate peppermint.
Rejection is with in chocolate and waterfalls. We understand that you shake back. But when you're dealing with people, if we didn't, we wouldn't have psychiatrists. We wouldn't have mental health experts because everybody responds to the stimuli differently. You respond differently than the next man. So you can't tell people just to get their ass up and shake it off because you don't know how people feel. Some people, one break up and one away from killing themselves because there's a lot of people that are doing that. Suicide is on the rise among black people. You wouldn't be good for no mental health expert. You telling people to get off their ass and suck it up, and it don't work like that.
Now on the cool,
people dealing with people.
That's an excellent person for mental health to try to tell you that that's your mental, and you need to get up and shake that shit off and move on.
You don't know what people are dealing with. That they're probably on the brink of taking their life. They didn't build themselves up in their mind. I like Desiree. Build myself up in their mind that I'm going with Desiree. I come up there, I see Desiree, I got butterfly. Boom, I come up there, this is who I like. Bam, I want to be with Desiree. Come to Desiree. So whoop the whoop, you're not my type. Boom, and then you deflate the balloon. Wait a second. Wait a
Let him
second, bro.
finish. I'm finna shut him
Wait
down.
a second. Wait a second. You ain't gonna shut nothing down because your view is delusional. Now now Desiree, I didn't put because a lot of people do this. A lot of people go with people in their mind.
Right.
They want to be with these people. They fantasize about these people.
Let me get him
and
you
ain't getting nothing. You tearing people down because you negating mental health. You negating how people actually feel. You validating how they feel and talking about their weak ass selves when they go through that, bro.
When
people
you finish, let me know.
When they go through rejection differently, bro.
Right.
Go ahead.
Finished?
Go ahead.
Yeah, are you finished or are you done?
No, go ahead.
Okay. The deal is this. I don't think a man need to go and try to pursue a woman for love until he love himself. If you have self-love, a woman turning you down ain't gonna bother you, my brother, because you love yourself. Y'all don't take the time to learn and love yourselves, and you trying to put all your hopes and dreams and future into a damn woman, a stranger, and then when she turn you down, now you're ready to kill yourself. The man who love himself ain't trying to kill himself. Majority of them. So before you go looking for this mate that you try to fall in love with and make your future and save you in life, learn to love yourself.
That's why people, you can say that Hallmark candle card all you want to. People are taking their lives.
I love myself.
And they like
the also love himself.
But that's you.
Right. Learn to love yourself, though.
No, but you got to speak to the people that struggle with that.
You have to love yourself first, homie.
How do you do that, Black? How do you do that?
Ladies talk.
How do you love yourself? How do you
Let's let the ladies talk.
Now, hold up. How do you learn how to do that, Black? Since you got that, you got that.
How you love yourself?
How you gonna tell somebody that don't know how to learn? How you gonna tell them to? What you need to do, Black?
They need to learn to love themselves.
Well,
even Neo got a song. Neo has a song that says, I'm gonna love you.
We ain't talking about Neo cheated on his wife.
But no. But we ain't talking about that. We talking about the lyrics of his song.
We ain't talking about because those are songs, those are lenses of what.
But they have a meaning, just like poems. They have meaning, just like speeches. They have meaning.
But what I'm telling you, that tell them if they need to learn to love themselves. Them the steps to learn to love themselves. If you can't do that, you need to be quiet, bro.
They have books.
You don't have that.
That's why you have therapy. And a lot of y'all weak niggas scared to go to therapy.
That's why
take your ass to therapy and learn how to love yourself.
So you don't have the answers then. So since you talking about learn to love yourself, you don't have the answers. You want to
I got the answer. I have the answer.
Tell us the steps.
The answer is learn to love yourself. If you're not satisfied with yourself,
how do you learn to do that?
If you're not satisfied with yourself,
Chanel know how to give you the steps. Why you can't do that? If you talking to somebody that don't have that type of confidence, how you gonna tell that person how to love himself?
I have shown people how to love themselves and move on out of heartbreaking relationships. I have done that.
What have you done?
I have done that.
What did you do?
I've talked them through the hard times they're going through. I made them invest in themselves. They got out their ass. They got jobs.
Saying what? That don't mean that don't change. Having a job don't change your psychological makeup. You can still be heartbroken working. That don't change nothing.
Yes, it does.
You say don't, and you making a joke out of this.
Each situation is going to be different.
Suicide is going to be different
anyway.
And neither one of you don't got the qualification.
Find value in yourself. Find value in yourself.
How do you find value in yourself?
By putting value in yourself.
How do you do that?
By putting things that matters to you in your life and building up your work portfolio. You build up your work portfolio.
How do you build?
If you're not happy with where you're working, if you don't like making
that don't have nothing to do with love. That don't have nothing to do with love. When you working, don't have nothing to do with love, and you want to be with somebody.
Whatever it is, whether it's education, whether it's money, whatever it is that makes you feel validated in the world, that's what you need to focus on.
Janet Jackson
finding love when you don't love yourself is the worst thing you can do.
Janet Jackson is a superstar. Janet Jackson, we love Janet. Janet Jackson look good. She fine. We know this. But Janet Jackson,
I'm good.
Janet Jackson in her mind, she still thinks she's fat. And she's a beautiful woman. You got
She
people
needs
that are
therapy.
destroying themselves.
She needs therapy.
Okay, what type of therapy, Black?
Mental therapy.
What type of mental therapy? What step?
Whatever is bothering her,
tell
she needs to
that.
see.
Hey, let's
I'm not a
Chanel
doctor.
wants to say something. Let's let her say what she needs to say.
Go ahead, Chanel. Go ahead, Chanel.
I can't believe y'all start arguing about mental health with me right here in the room and don't be letting me talk.
Go ahead,
That's
Chanel.
crazy.
That's why I called. That's why.
How you doing, Chanel? My bad. You know when he gets to talking, it's up.
So first of all, y'all know I see all sides of the coin, right? And stuff. And Black is correct to a certain extent. You're right. You do need self-esteem. You do need self-love. But before I get into that, did anybody check and see how these mixers were marketed? Did they go out to all the people, or did just the women find out about it?
He gonna say they went out
to
everybody.
But not one man to show up is something else.
No, they said it was marketed as a singles mix.
Yeah, but it was marketed to the right people.
Yeah,
they was marketed to
for all women to show up and not a man.
Yeah,
not a man to show up.
That says a lot about the Dallas men. That says a whole lot about them.
What Dallas men got the message though? That's what I'm saying.
They put it
beyond that.
They put it all that.
Got it.
True. In order to the rejection thing is a real thing. It is a real thing.
It's a real thing.
You know, and everybody don't have the self-confidence and or the machismo, to walk up to a woman and be okay if they get rejected and all that kind, especially if you've been facing rejection your entire life. If your parents didn't show you that, they didn't give you a voice. If you grew up in a household where you was treated like shit, if you grew up in a space where your voice and your presence didn't even matter, then you don't have self-esteem, and it does have to be built. But you can't just say, you ain't shit, go out there and get your shit together.
Yeah,
that's not how it works.
That's the dumbest shit in the
come
world
to
I ever
therapy
heard.
and do that? Yeah,
You
and
always,
it take time to
always
get it
saying
done.
that shit. And it's time to get done.
And
then
some
people,
being said to step up to a woman is the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life.
Well, that's because you never experienced it.
Yeah, because you never experienced it, bro.
But no, he said,
me
saying,
no.
The fact that he's saying that,
you don't have no, you don't have no,
rejected,
you don't have no.
Why did Aaliyah make the song if at first
you don't have the hell with a song? We talking the hell with a song. We talking about a resolution. You talking about a resolution?
This one time I was scared to talk to somebody, and then I said,
"You talking about a resolution, man?"
That ain't the song. Dust yourself off and try again.
Scared to talk to somebody.
All right.
I said, forget it. Whatever happens, gonna happen.
Thanks.
Took a chance. And it happened. And from then on, I've been held until I got married.
They experienced. I'm telling you, they never experienced it. What's her name? They never experienced. Yeah, they never experienced it, so they don't know.
I said I faced rejection before.
One or two. There was something to do. We talking about somebody you done went after, you done got, you wanted in your life, you done got, and you got her. Not somebody that you was just saying.
Black already said he never even approached women, and women came to him. He got to college before he even realized women were supposed to, that men were supposed to approach women. Right. So that says your entire trajectory
but I had to learn
to that point has been you not even making an approach. Everybody came to you because you DJ Black.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
All right,
but I learned. But like you said, I learned to step and. I had a pretty good ratio.
You did learn to step, and you could step because you had all of this reference behind you that said, "I will probably not fail," because they usually come to me anyway. Right?
But when you step up, hey Chanel, when you step to the back. And you've been striking out from the beginning. You hit every now and then, and then when you hit, it's a base hit. It ain't no home run. It's just you got a base hit because the next hitter coming up the bat, he's finna get struck out. So that's the bottom of the ninth inning, and y'all lose it. But when you used to winning and hitting home runs, nobody cannot relate to you. No, nobody cannot relate to you. bro, nobody can relate to you when
Texas
you
and
get
women, I
ready.
done had Texas women, baby.
And
That
I
ain't
met
nothing.
nobody.
See,
I
that's
done
what
had
I'm
Some
Texas
saying.
people out
women.
there
That
that
ain't
think
Bam,
nothing.
that
there it is.
I
Chanel,
said they
boom.
born with swag, I guess.
Bam.
You know,
Yeah,
What
that's
you
there
what
are
I'm
say?
some
saying.
people that's more confident
Yeah.
than others,
Yeah.
but everybody's not. Everybody, just like a
Everybody's
few
not,
weeks
bro.
ago when we talked about pretty women and all that. Like many pretty
Some women
women,
just bad.
as beautiful as they are, have self-esteem issues.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
I see that a lot. I see
Hey,
that.
Chanel,
But that's
I
And
because
they
met
might
mostly
have the
because of social
confidence,
media,
you
though.
know, and they
Chanel.
might have
Mostly
all
because of
they might
social
have
media
Now,
what's
ain't
and
no
called
jealous
social,
faux
friends.
ain't no social
confidence.
media. Yeah,
Social media and jealous
it ain't
friends.
about it ain't about no it ain't about that. I done
You
met
think
women
that's
that
Mr.
what's causing low
Statistics man,
that
self-esteem?
Google that
no,
shit.
I'm just telling. We ain't
Mr.
Googling
Statistics,
nothing.
Google it.
We talking about
You said
personal
low self-esteem is
experience.
caused by
You done
social
seen
media?
Chanel.
No.
You
You were
Chanel.
saying that a lot of
Personal
women
experience.
have self-esteem issues. A
Oh
lot
Yeah,
yeah.
of
the
them have them
beautiful.
now because of social
It
media.
ain't
And
it
I
ain't
know
about
people
it
that
now.
went into depression,
Some yeah,
comas,
that's
and
a
then I know
contributing
beautiful
factor.
That's
women
been going
that
on.
that
But
that,
baby,
that
I
was
grew up
beautiful
without
that
social
killed
media and I
themselves
had
That's
because
been
low
social
going
media
on.
self-esteem.
told them they
That's been
wasn't
going
beautiful.
on. That's been going
I
on.
grew up before social
Grew
media
up before
and I
social
had
media.
low self-esteem.
Bam,
And I've
bam,
been beautiful my whole life, just didn't know it.
bam,
Yeah,
bam.
but
That had
it was.
nothing to do with
Why did you have it?
self-esteem.
Was people
But you do
telling you
Yeah,
something.
that?
that had nothing to do with social media.
Was
Yeah, a
people
little
telling
It
you
bit.
was
that
because
though?
my mother, I grew up in a household where
Yeah,
my mother convinced me that I was fat.
yeah.
And that's what was in my head, that I was fat.
Damn.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I'm
So you
saying?
say
gonna tell her to
I
get
didn't
over
say
it? Hold up. What you gonna
that was the
do?
You don't
root
just
You
get
of
gonna
it.
over that.
But a
you gonna
lot
tell
of
her to
women
get over
today
it?
that are self-esteem
We
issues
ain't
and
talking
killing
about nothing today.
themselves,
We
a
talking
lot
about
of them
people.
today is because of social media.
Listen,
Man,
You
you
were
got
rare.
because
You
you
was
of
a
got
rare
grown
case.
women.
It wasn't a
It
thousand
ain't no
women.
rare
factor.
case.
It wasn't a thousand
It's
women
a
that felt like you felt
contributing.
It ain't no
back
rare
Nothing is
then.
a
case.
be all end all though. It's
It
a
It
ain't no
wasn't a
rare
contributing
thousand.
case.
factor.
It ain't
It's a
no rare case.
factor, but it's not the be all end all.
Right.
People start that way in toddlerhood, as in kids, and
That's what
it's
I'm trying
usually
to tell
parents
you.
that
You
hasn't
can't
lifted
tell
them
people
up, that
just to get
hasn't
over that.
validated them.
You can't do that. You can't
It's
tell people
a
just to get
whole
over
lot of
that.
factors that come with that. You
Trying
know,
to
what
tell you.
social groups you in real life.
Right.
You know, everywhere I
Well,
went, people was
cool.
reminding me that I was fat. Was it
Yeah.
partially media? Yeah, because the only images we had was skinny white people on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the media did say. Oh, well,
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
ain't the
just
right
like you
size. You ain't
said,
the right
media
size. You
did
ain't the
play a
right
part
color.
in that
You
No,
ain't got the
because
right
back
hair.
then
You know,
television was media.
no, but you
And
had
it
family.
television
was.
said that the women in cosmetology and the thin white women were where
And
it's
they were
at.
the
Diana
standard. They were
Ross
the
was
norm.
where it was. And if you
Right.
wasn't like Diana Ross, or you didn't look like the women that was on Cosmopolitan and Jet magazine, you wasn't what it do.
Well, let's take it
So
all the way back further than that, Black. As people came out of slavery, were we treated well? Were we treated as if we were beautiful? No. This go way back further than media. We've been treated like shit for a long fucking time. We've been
Flowers and
told we
syrup.
wasn't shit for a
It's
long
real.
fucking
Yeah.
time. Women with asses like mine got put on fucking display and made fun of. You know what I'm saying? So
until
this
Luke
is way
Skywalker came
bigger,
along, and Luke
way bigger
Skywalker
than
Yeah,
stuck
social
that
yeah.
media.
ass on the cover and made $1 million.
Now,
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, bro. I hear
now
you.
you
But
can.
she telling you, she
But
talking about the
that also
psychological
means
damage.
now they're
You just can't
exploiting.
tell people. Yeah, you just can't tell
Now
people
they're
to get over it.
exploiting that.
I didn't
You
tell
know
you to
what I'm
get
saying?
over it.
You
You
did. You
know,
always say that.
there's no such thing as
That's
just
your
get over it.
solution for people to get over whatever
Well, I
they
mean,
got
Can't
going
get
on
over
is
it.
what they want to get over,
It
and
is
they
a
can't. And it
process
don't
to
work
build
like that.
yourself
It's a
up.
process.
It takes
well,
many
And
years
sometimes they
and
carry
many
that
tears
in
to build
adulthood.
yourself up.
right.
They
Well,
carry that into adulthood.
But I do
Some
agree
people,
with you in that value has to be placed in you,
yeah.
right?
so,
And
amen that.
what I
Amen
don't
that.
agree
Amen.
with is that
Yeah,
jobs and
I
all that
did.
give you value. The
Yeah.
value literally has to come from within.
You gotta
You know,
Within
you have to
within.
find the things that you are great at and
Yeah.
recognize that you're great at
that
them.
you're great.
Give yourself props every day.
So when
Like
that
it's
person rejects you, you know who you are, and you know what
yeah,
she's
but
missing out on.
it takes
ain't
time.
necessarily that
It
person.
takes time.
It's just
I
talking about
promise
in
you it takes
life.
time.
You can be. I was a recluse. I didn't go nowhere. I didn't do anything. But now I'm moving around because I got around people that I've been like that all my life. I've been a loner all my life. But I got around people that encouraged me. Not tell me. They didn't
That's
tell
true.
me to get over.
You need
They
a good
didn't want to
circle.
tell me to get over shit and doing all. Excuse my language. They didn't tell me to do none of that stuff. They were as
But
a
they were there
brother
for you,
and say, and
encouraging you.
encourage me to say, "Hey, bro,
Yeah.
you need to do, but try this, try that," and that's what I did. So they had real tangible steps on what you. Hey, bro, just take it a little bit. And then when I hesitated, they didn't shoot me under the rug. They said, "Bro, just try it again. Try to do this.
Just try it again.
Now try to move
Take
it
gentle
around."
talk.
Because you don't.
And
You got to know how to deal. You got to know how to deal with people sometimes. And sometimes people are just on that little break. You can say something to them for them to end their life, and you'll tell them, "Oh well, shit, nigga ended his life. Oh well." You can't do that to people because I met women. I done talked to them, beautiful women that have been raped, been molested, super bad women that don't love themselves.
Right.
That prostituted, that stripped, that did all of this, and they beautiful,
Right.
and they don't love themselves. They suffering from PTSD. Black.
Then they need to go. They need to seek therapy instead of hoeing. Go and seek therapy,
bro.
But when you come from a household that don't believe in that, what that look like?
That's their fault.
That's why I do what I do in the way that I do.
Exactly.
Because our people don't do it because we've been trained and taught.
We were trained.
That's not what you do.
That's not what you do. You see what she said? Our people was trained.
Have been violated by people in their own households, and they done swept it under the damn rug. I used to tell them, "Oh, just go to therapy."
You just can't do that.
Right. She said, well, no, what she said, you're not listening. She said what I said.
Listen. She just said what you trying to say. You just go to therapy. You don't know what happened.
No. She said we were trained. She said we were trained not to go to therapy.
From your home.
Yeah, but
you might get exiled from your family. That means you got to give up everything and everybody so that you can tell your truth, so that you can get your healing. Do you know how many people are still struggling with that? They come to me now.
Yeah.
They have to go no contact.
But they're taking that step to go and seek help.
But
if you're able to get help, go and seek help.
Look how long it took for them to make the step to come to her.
But they made the step. They made that step because you know why they made that step? Because they want change. They want change.
Yeah, and some people want change, but they don't know how to make change, and they're scared to make change.
When they don't know how to make it, that's
the reason for my podcast.
But they don't know what
being in public forums. That's the reason for me talking as much as I talk about this thing, and having a face behind the desk that looks like this. That's why I'm a no bullshit therapist, and I talk like they talk, so that they can have a space and a place. But it has not been like that always. Yeah. This is just starting to be a thing. Right.
They realizing now. And I never really had to, because they were sending their friends over to me. And then once I went to college and learned that it's certain country women that didn't believe in that, and that's when I started doing it. But at first, being that I was a popular person in that town, the women would send their friends, cousins, and all that, and they'll say, "Hey, my friend say you cute, my friend isn't that, or they want to know about me." So I never had to. But once I went to college and started being around more people from all parts of the world, certain ones I learned that if you want them, if the man want them, you have to pursue the woman. It wasn't all about the woman pursuing the man. Now women are pursuing the men. But back then, that was very rare. And the only reason they were doing it to me is because I was kind of different, labeled weird, unpopular. So they was like, "Hey, let's see what's going on with him," because I wasn't in their face like many of the other guys were. Right. So they would approach me. So that's why. It didn't have nothing to do with intimidation, because when I got out there, But you know, it
like you said, you already had a history of confidence, right?
Yeah. And then I found out.
Too. Like you said, you had a lot of family around you.
I found out here on the podcast
how awesome you are.
I actually found out here on the podcast where my confidence came from, because we were talking. That's why I say it's therapeutic. We were on the panel, and this guy named Brandon, he's a Muslim, and he say, "Well, Black, did you ever think about where you got your confidence from?" And when he asked me, he caught me off guard. And I said, "Shit, I was born with it. It's just me." He said, "You don't think your parents instilled that in you when you was a child at a younger age? You know, when you were coming up?" And then I was like, "Nah." And then I started thinking. And I was
That's
quiet for about, and you know, it's hard. I was quiet about 15 minutes on this motherfucker. I was quiet. And I said, you know what? Then the next day I called him and I was like, man, that's where that came from. Because mom used to always tell me, people gonna talk about you regardless.
Regardless, that's right.
She say, so if I'm going to school, and this was when I was first going to Head Start. She say she was putting, I remember just like it was yesterday, she was putting the belt around me, sticking my shirt in my pants. And she said, hey, now when you go in here, people gonna say this, people gonna say that. And you know, they talk about Jesus, they did this. So you are nobody special. So they're gonna talk about you. You may hear some things that may hurt your feelings. And I got in several fights. I'm talking about I'm going home with my clothes torn up. I'm talking about every day. And but it was because the majority of the people, my folks always kind of had something. And so when I would go to school, the ones that had lesser, that would ask me for money, try to take advantage of me or steal my coat, my and stuff. And so I would feel some type of way about them. And we end up fighting every time the bell rings for us to go home, we fight. And my folks got tired of replacing clothes. And so at this point, that's when she was like, I can't fight just because people saying stuff. People are going to talk about you regardless, whether you trying to be friends with them, whether y'all in the same neighborhood. She said, I can't worry about everybody who say your mom. Everybody who say, I don't like your hair, your clothes ugly. I can't fight everybody. So once they preached that to me, I started taking, when they would say stuff, as a grain of salt, because they kept preaching to me, you are somebody. So, and when they say this, you got straight A's. They got D's and F's. So I was like, okay, well, D's and E's. I was like, okay. So that's how, the confidence was built up from right before Head Start.
And I didn't get that. I didn't get that. I had to have self-confidence. I had to grow into
on his own.
Because
I had it, but they was instilling it, making sure that it didn't,
And mine didn't get reinforced like that.
Like at what point in your, like you said, you didn't have that growing up, like, but at what point did you feel like, you made that turnaround at some, and was there an incident or a person in your life that helped you to do that or inspired you to do that?
He taught himself.
Even at a young age, I always felt confident in me and my abilities. I came from my folks had money, but they were ignorant, foolish, stupid. They did stupid stuff. And I know that I didn't want to be like them. So
that's a motivator.
Yeah, I changed that in myself. So I had to teach myself that confidence. I had to be strong for me. So you can learn to love yourself. You don't have to have
reinforcement
happen or those reinforcements. I never accepted a role model because I learned from an early age, role models can let you down.
They can.
So I had to look at myself. I had to be my own self role model. Now I try to be a role model for my kids and family, but I never accepted anyone as a role model. So I had to build that up in myself. And then when Black and I got together, it was just hell from there. It
was on me.
we ran with
iron, baby.
And the mine was preaching that to me because of my situation. I came up in a different type of situation, and they was just making sure. But I never really gave a shit even back then. I mean, it was like, it is what it is. But they didn't like me fighting all the time and coming home with tore up shirts, Granimal shirts and shit. They just bought me clothes. I'm coming home with them tore up. So they was like, you can't go fight everybody. So that was mine, was like, they gonna talk about you. Don't let that bother you. You're gonna have to do this, do that. You get the grades, and then you show them through grades, blah, blah, blah. They were just trying to tell me that fighting wasn't what it do. And I was in orchestra and all that stuff. So I was nerded out in school, but I was cool at the same time. But I was always a loner to myself until he and that's my cousin. We had an older cousin who came and hooked us up. And he was like, we had seen each other, but we never kicked it. You know what I'm saying? We would see each other at family events. My dad would take me over to his mom them house, and you know, we just really wouldn't click. I got a He-Man and he playing with a Skeletor or something, but we never hooked up. And then when my cousin said, the oldest cousin, he said, man, that's your cousin. That's who you need to be hanging with, man. Y'all can't be in the same city. Y'all cousins, y'all know each other. So he made us hang together. And then we fell in love with each other. And we had so much in common. And it was just, you know, it just ran from there. Well, we wake up in the morning, it's, hey, what you got on? Okay, I'm wearing a button up. I got my Adidas on. You know, we were that. Hey, I'm wearing a polo today. You know what I'm saying? And we waited outside of the school till the other one got there unless we went and picked them up. So that's how we was like that. And then when
I also say that y'all, like I said, iron sharpens iron, right? And so y'all hanging together, and that's instant building of its self-esteem and each other's confidence in itself. Because I'm sure, you know, nigga, you look fly. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna let your partner, your cuz, like, you know, go out in the streets looking crazy or whatever.
Right. And we used to do that.
So
Hey, man, I go over there with some. I don't know how you know
I also
that.
think that people are born with certain temperaments. Like some people are born with the ability to more than others are born with the ability to, you know, because there's some people that are they're just softer. They just, you know, they're not as you know, some people have different levels of strength and all that. Some people need to build more mental muscle than other people have to, you know. But I think both of y'all had, you know, good foundation. Even in each other, y'all had good foundation, you know. But most people don't grow up like that.
But what would you tell the person who's given up on finding someone with all the opportunities
like
that's out there today? With all the opportunities that's out there today, because you know it's 20 women to one man, and you also know a man can find a good woman quicker than a woman can find a good man. I mean, because like I say, with the men being gay, men dying, still black man still dying, black man still going to jail, black man, you know, it's just so much going on with the black man till that woman, for a man to go out there and find a woman that's willing to commit, to submit, cater to him, she is out there if that's what he's looking for. But I'm thinking of today, a lot of the guys are getting caught up in what the modern women are showing on social media, what they're being portrayed as in the Tyler Perry movies, in the Tyler Perry series, what we watching, the Fatimas and the sisters and all of that. We see how them sisters going through men, and one an attorney and she this, and one work at the airport and she a slut. And you know, it's like we're seeing this. And if I was single and didn't have the confidence, I wouldn't want to get out there in this dating world either. Because when I go to social media, I'm seeing 40 and 50-year-old women shaking their ass. I'm seeing them in the mirror, turning their ass to the side, jiggling the shit, and I'm looking like, God dang. And then they'll say, she 51 years old. I'm like, you know, so then I'll be like, okay, if I was a visual person that took all of that to heart, I wouldn't want to get out there. I'd be like, shit, I ain't gonna go out there, and I'll stay right here. You know what I'm saying? Do my thing and look at TV. You know, and it's like, because I would want to deal with it. But then I also know from past experience that everybody's not like that. Right. You have to know that. But if you haven't got out there and seen that everyone, because with me being a DJ in the club, I see so much. So many women come to me. I even see the ones that look uncomfortable in the club that I know don't supposed to be in the club. You know what I'm saying? She's there because they celebrating the party, and Brittany begged her to come. She didn't want to go. I got to go to work in the morning. I just stopped by. Brittany hosts card games at the crib. Brittany got 4 or 5 kids and hosting card games at the crib and screwing club owners for her income. But this girl got to go to Chase, JP Morgan in the morning at 9 o'clock, but she just trying to show her cousin or her best friend love. So I came out here for a couple of hours. I used to stereotype. I don't like club women because I seen my mom and dad fall out because he working 16, 18 hours at a damn meal, and she got her ass at the club with one of her little single friends.
Yeah.
And it was hell at the house. And I've seen that. So I would never date a club woman. And while DJing, several would come out there, and boy, they used to get mad at me because, you know, I don't talk to them. So I was good at what I do. I didn't pack the club out because I was popular in the streets, because I didn't hang with the hood niggas. I didn't hang with the popping street women. I was just good at what I do. I know how to rock a crowd. So they came to see me because of that. But as far as them saying, hey man, he over my house getting high, or he in the back room laid up with Tostasia, you know, they didn't get that, because I was very when I started DJing for the ratchet clubs, they was looking at me like they didn't know how to come up and ask me for nothing, because I'm the guy from the polo and wearing the Adidas, and in his own world, I wasn't in the street socializing with people. So when you see cars all up and down the road this way and that way, it's because this nigga good at what he do, not because he's popular and friends with him. We going to hear him because we want to go have a good time. I wasn't that DJ that was in the streets and popular and hanging with everybody. They came to see me to turn up and enjoy themselves. Because I didn't hang with
this though. You know, even like I understand the side of the self-esteem and all that. I definitely do agree with you though that you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. You know, and so if you are looking for a mate, if you're looking for I know he put your name all up in there.
I was just trying to make sure you were still on there.
The first that came
I was trying to make sure you were still on there.
He drew you out the crowd.
I said that station.
The bottom line is like, you know, if you don't make an effort, if you're looking for that, you got to make the effort and try. You know, be it online, be it a mixer, whatever. If you're actually looking to have a mate, and I mean, you can't do it sitting up in the house, you know, low self-esteem or not, you know, and I definitely believe that you should be building your self-esteem. You got to get you together before you enter a relationship anyway, and all that. Who knows, you might make friendship at this thing that you went to that it might not be a love connection, but maybe you'll make a good friend, and maybe she'll be end up being a part of your circle that encourages you and help you to build that self-esteem. You just don't know if you don't go. You have no clue, you know. Right. You don't
and that's what I preach. So when he say, I say, get over it. It be when somebody come and be like, they just know they can't do it. You know, they frustrated, and I'm like, man, you got to shake that out. You know what I'm saying? You got to shake that out. But I understand me saying shake it off mean try to shake back. I grew up with tough love. They didn't just I put my head in the bosom and cry, and we didn't have it. I didn't. Yeah, you know, because you know how that man be good until mama grab his head and put now you know. So I didn't have that. I had tough love. So when I tell people, when he say, man, she quit me, man, she left, man, what I'm gonna do? Nigga, you finna shake that shit out. You ain't finna just ball up and cry. Like I say, if I'm in love, mine decides she wanna leave me tomorrow. Give me about a week or two crying in that bathroom, waking up every day, getting myself together, but eventually I'm gonna know that ain't I know, right? But you need
a week.
A couple of weeks.
It's okay to grieve that which you have lost, right? But no, you shouldn't stay in it. You shouldn't stay in that grief to the point that you don't move forward, that you don't try again, you know?
Yeah, you don't give up.
I was just about to bring up dating apps. I was just about to bring that up because when you are on a lot of dating apps, especially the ones that you have to pay for, you may find some people that you actually click with.
Right.
So you can't be afraid to use all the avenues that are available to you if you're looking for someone to date and to be in a serious relationship with.
Yep.
And the ones that's in the
you still gotta weed through the knuckleheads and all that, but that's whether you're in the street, at a mixer, on an app, whatever it is, at church. You still got to weed through the knuckleheads that you don't want to be bothered with. That's just a part of dating. It's the
that's really the part of meeting people. Everybody is not going to be your cup of tea, and you can't walk out there in that dating pool looking for the first person you meet gonna be wife material.
And
Or
think
the first
they're
person
gonna
you
be
meet gonna be husband material.
That's a setup for failure. And you
Yeah,
know,
and that will now, if you step out there like that, that will beat your esteem down.
it will.
That
Absolutely.
will
I agree with that.
that
But you
will
got to
kill
go
it.
out there open-minded. You don't know who going to end up being a friend or an associate. You don't know who going to end up being a business partner. You don't know who going to. There's a lot of options out there. Like, you don't know what God have that connection set up to be, right? And stuff like that. You came out here to get a date, but you end up with a business partner. Who knows? You know.
Hold on, let me say this. Let me say this because it was about the remark about a dating app. I'm not speaking about myself. I'm speaking about what other men and other individuals experience. Not necessarily about no dating app. I'm speaking about what's real out there. People get rejected.
What you think about it?
How do you feel about dating apps?
She was just asking for your person.
I don't date. I'm not on no dating apps. What y'all talking about really don't apply to me because I'm not dealing with no dating. So I'm not in the world of where we go out and date. So this is a whole total different. I'm just really mediating what we got going on in the podcast. I ain't in the world of dating. We got something. I got something totally different going on. So I don't even get into that. But
you
I'm
think
talking
that
about men.
That's okay to meet for other people.
I guess so.
Like
if it's for other people, I guess
Would
so.
you try?
But, some people that got killed. Some people that got killed using dating apps.
Some people that got killed.
Some people that met love.
Some people that got killed driving.
Some people that got killed on dating apps. Some happened. Some that met love.
Some that got killed meeting them at restaurants.
Yeah, but the thing is,
dinner at a movie.
When I'm
got killed in 25-year relationships.
Right, and what I'm speaking of is the reality that some people. Yeah, some people just they don't shake back off of rejection. They just don't. So it's just what it is, and you can tell them all day. Some people just gonna walk through life and they're gonna be cool with that, and some people gonna live. You may meet people, you may work with somebody that's by themselves and do a good job. That don't mean that they can't function in life. They probably be a top success.
Right. It's a matter of what you want.
No. We're not saying that single people fail. We're saying if that's what you're longing for, you got to get out there and get it. What we're saying.
It depends on if that's what you want.
And some people ain't necessarily longing for it. Some people been in enough relationships where they've been married
and they're okay.
And they like, I'm straight, man.
Yeah,
I'm cool.
Absolutely.
I'd rather be by myself. So,
but we've heard certain people say on this podcast that they want a wife and they want children.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing that.
Yeah.
So if they want a wife,
why? But if they want wife and children, we're not talking about dating. So I shouldn't have to go on no app.
You have to get to know.
You don't have to go on no dating app. You don't have to go on no dating app. You don't have to go on no dating app. You don't have to go. You don't go on no. You don't have to go on no dating app. I don't have to go on no dating app
to get there.
I'm not have to go on no dating app. What are you all are talking about and what you're saying and the steps of what you're doing, that don't apply to me. I'm just speaking,
Chanel, this the deal.
I'm speaking CDC. Okay. I'm speaking just information that I've gathered of why people go through what they go through in their rejection and why, and personal experience in talking with people.
Okay. Chanel,
we're not talking about dating. That's something I don't even think about.
Yeah, this the deal.
I'm not here to play the game.
He believes
don't put
in courtship.
Don't put that in there.
No. You said this on the podcast. You said this last week and week before last. I'm quoting what you've already said. So what you've already stated.
Okay.
So just let me talk, homie.
Okay.
And I was trying to understand like the difference in your terms between courtship and dating and
courtship.
Personal
courtship is you having it. You have the courtship. Just break it in a nutshell. Courtship is you have an intention of being married. Dating, it ain't necessarily you just trying to. You don't date. If you and I are interested in one another, and we get to meet one another,
the room, and I'm like, that's who I want to be my husband. We want to meet.
No, we want to meet one brother. don't make no fun about my religion, bro.
Who
I
made
don't
fun?
appreciate that. No,
Who
Jay
did?
laughing. This ain't funny, bro.
I'm laughing at what Chanel said. You meet somebody,
This
you
is
see
not
somebody
funny.
across the room, and you be like, "I want to
You
date." So I'm not
respect what
making
I
fun of
got
your
to respect
religion.
because I'm
I'm laughing.
You talking about Chanel, baby?
I'm
You talking about
listening.
Chanel?
Man, get out your fucking
And
feelings. I'm
Nah,
talking.
nah,
I'm
hey,
talking
listen,
about
hey,
Chanel.
listen.
I'm
understanding
just saying. I'm just laughing at
how
her.
you get from. Oh, did he leave? I think he left. Or we lost him. One or the other.
You done hung up? You there, Chanel?
I'm still here.
No, what happened? Y'all got quiet.
I
Yeah,
guess.
I don't know
I guess he
where
decided.
Phantom went.
Maybe I offended him.
Yeah, I think it did because I was trying to get a trajectory, like trying to see how he gets to the courtship part, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the deal.
And
He
that's why I was like,
thinks
if it's is there an attraction? I see you. That's who I want to be my husband. We enter right into courting, and I'm trying to understand what his definition of dating is.
See, but he not understanding. I mean, the part that I feel like he's missing is the meeting. You have to meet somebody in order to do courtship.
Right. And that's what I was trying to get to too. Yeah. You have to meet, you have to go out a few times, see if there's somebody you're interested in like that. And
but
then
I think he don't quite understand what courtship is.
Yeah.
We understand that you're dating. I mean, not dating, because he don't want that word in. I understand that you're meeting a person that you are trying to make your life partner, and you both have the same goal. That when we get together, I like you, you like me. We date. I mean, we see each other for 3 to 6 months, and after that, we know if we are for each other. It's kind of like an arranged marriage. Then we jump up and we get married. But the part that he's missing is you have to meet somebody first. You have to meet them, and whether it's dating app, whether it's sports bar, whether it's a mixer, whether it's your insurance lady, whatever.
I think he was thinking that Austin was making fun of his religion because that's how he does the not dating but courtship and into marriage, that he thought that he was laughing at him and how that's
he was actually laughing at when you said, so you spot somebody across the room
Muslim.
and you just supposed to instantly want him. He's a Muslim.
Yeah, so what about? I wasn't making fun of.
He wasn't making fun of him. He was laughing because Janelle, you made the joke
because I was trying to make
somebody across the room,
right?
And he got in it. You know, he was sensitive about he very sensitive about their religion. Very sensitive about their religion. Right. But
we respect it. We respect it but just trying to understand it and help him to get to where he's trying to get to.
Yeah, actually, you was just trying to get knowledge yourself on how do he expect to meet this woman,
right? How
if he's not putting forth an effort to either meet her through dating, through a dating app, meet her. You know, how are you going to meet?
How are you going to get to that point? Or
whatever? Yeah, because in order to get it and see, because he frowns on dating because he feels like he said a couple of podcasts ago, dating the relationships fail. He say in courtship and arranged relationships, arranged marriages, other cultures, they last forever because they were put together. But they also, the other cultures, they're reared up. The mother is reared them up for a man.
That's
the main thing.
Groomed for that particular partner because this family and that family have already agreed and made the arrangement, and so they are grooming them for that family and all that kind of stuff or whatever. So that turns out to be a bit different,
Right. And so like that. And that doesn't necessarily mean they happy in that thing.
Right.
It just means that they understand when their culture, their religion, y'all together and you're gonna stay together.
Stay together, yeah.
And so of course they're gonna have a low divorce rate because they kind of forced to be in there. You know what I'm saying? You married, then that it is what it is.
And there's always the possibility of, like, say, being reared for a person or for a family or whatever, and all that. You know that person's ins and outs and all this kind of stuff. So it's likely that they can be happier because you already know the person and how their family is and how they grew up. And, you know, with the rest of us, we like trying to learn that about each other. You know, as we get together, we learning, you know, what your background is and how you were reared and how you was raised and, you know, what your traumatic things are and what's your triggers and all that. Whereas they might not have all of that because each family already know the junk, right? And stuff. And after you spend lots of time with a person, it's possible for you to fall in love with them. It's absolutely possible. You know, so they may end up,
What you say,
they
Austin?
might be happy.
Growing to love each other.
Yeah, they could.
And you know, and a lot of people, they get dowries because of that. You know, they give up
the dowry
possessions for those families, and so there's just no divorcing in that.
Yeah.
Whereas it's high. Divorce rate is high with us because, especially now, because women don't need men no more.
We just like we out.
No, I think it's because they found that they can find someone that they can truly be happy with, rather than selling for someone that they just need.
Right. But that's why I say same thing. They don't need a man anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So they it's a by choice type deal. But
and to me, there's a pleasure in wanting to need somebody. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, can I make my own money? It's just like, can I put the trash out? Yes, I can. But do I really need to or want to? I really don't. I would like, you know.
I like that, Jay. Awesome.
You know
I like what she said. It's wanting to need that person.
Right.
That I like that. Yeah.
Because when I used to be toxically independent myself, you know, I was like, you know, because I don't need nothing from nobody. Ain't just a man, just nothing from nobody. I got all this by myself, but like, I don't, you know, and secretly, I would like a snuggle sometimes, you know. And so it's you coming to understand that you do have needs and it's okay to, you know, need, but that's a toxic independent person, being male or female, is somebody who is still hurting from the relationships. And that it don't mean necessarily romantic relationships. It could be parenting relationships. It could be all the relationships before that where they wasn't able to trust people. So now I don't need nobody because I don't want to trust nobody because I can't depend on nobody.
I think that's me. That sums me up. You just hit me in a nutshell. And that's why I say what I say about 3 days and, you know, I'm back, because I don't care for the heartache. I don't care for the heartbreak. And once you experience that and you don't want to experience it anymore, you close your heart to that love. You close your heart to that running through the tulips and that daisy stuff, that slow motion with the daffodils flying. You close that up. You like, I don't want to go through that again. You know. And then every now and then you'll find, every blue moon, you find that one person that show you that you can let your guard down. Show you, because man, I ain't, dude, the first 4 years of meeting my trust issue, my
hello.
Hey, Phantom.
Yeah, my connection went out. My connection went out.
My trust issues. I mean, I was a very, 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 very messed up individual because I don't trust nobody. And then it's mainly because people come to me with their problems. And after you hear so many, and I guess that's why you guys get paid to do it. Once you hear so much and see so much, you start putting that in your relationship. Well, where you been? You know, hey, you got off at 5 o'clock. It's 5:45. Why you ain't at the house? You know, because you know you hear what. And she like, hey, I gotta crank the car.
Hold on. Let me say this. Hey, nobody need to check on me. My connection just went out. That's all. That's all that happened. So nobody need to check on me.
And so, but yeah, so
I just never cared.
When you listen to so much problems that everybody else going through, you really have to be prepared to be a therapist, because you can have the best relationship, but if you get enough people coming to you pointing out how this person doing that, and she had 2 phones, and he put a tracker on the car, and she told me she was going over to a friend's house, and I went by there, and she was over Janie's house, and they was trying to lie for it. I'm looking like, wow. So then when you're in your relationship, you like, you got off at 5 o'clock, it's 5:45, and she like, that's what time I usually get home. 5:45, I gotta get home, and you looking like, well. Oh, okay. Never mind. My bad. You know, and I'm like, okay. 6 o'clock. Lord forbid.
Outside of that, you have to keep yourself outside of the client stuff. You got to be able to, you know, and I mean that's the same thing with people, though. Even not just a therapist.
Right.
As a person, you should not use other people as a basis of your relationship.
Man,
that, as a person,
that had me looking at every woman
sideways.
And I ran so many off, and what made me stay with this one is she tolerated that shit. She, you know, but I kept it open by telling her where I came from and why I act the way I act, from things I seen growing up to not wanting to be hurt. I mean, because when you young, like you were when you married, the guy you with, when you're 18, 19 years old and you think you done found this love, and then y'all break up at 20, 21, and then that's the worst hurt the first and worst hurt you ever felt. And to get over that hurt, a lot of times you have to harden your heart and get back at it. You have to kill love. You have to take that dagger and get that love and stick it in there and be like, this is not for me. And you kill love. And then I went through that 20 years, you know what I'm saying? It's like I don't want that, because that was a feeling that I did not want.
Let me say this, Black, because I need to clear up what I was about to tell you, Chanel. Dealing with courtship, because I want to get this understood, that in the Nation of Islam, we have a process where women, if you come in a meeting, you got men sitting on one side, women sitting on the other side, it's for a reason, just like you have Jehovah's Witness. If you're in the Nation of Islam, you follow different, you follow procedure. So if I'm interested in you, we got officials in the mosque that say, hey, I'm interested in Chanel. I'm gonna go to Chanel. Chanel gonna go to the official and say, hey, James interested in you. Okay. And then it can be discreetly. The reason why it's discreetly, because it may be somebody in there that like you too, but probably try to run interference on that. So you got to keep it at a discretion. And courtship is not announced. So when you have a courtship that's not announced, it's uninterrupted. So, me and you agree to court me. We individuals, we like each other. We're attracted to each other. So in order to keep the physical part down, we go on to dates, whatever. I'm in charge of taking you on dates, and we those are type of dates that if you will, we go on to go to movies and different things of that nature.
Right.
Okay. Now we sit down, we talking, we progress until you like me, I like you. We decide we want to get married. I'm going to go meet your family. You're going to meet my family. So we going through this process. You asking me questions about myself, my health, different things of that nature. We go through that process. And in the interim of courtship, there's no sex in between doing courtship. There's no giving of gifts in courtship. So I don't give you any gifts. So if it don't work out, then it ain't give me my teddy bear. So
this is pure. Y'all getting to know each other and really figuring out.
We getting to know each other, weighing evidence, and sex is not out in your mind. So now in the world, a lot of times when you're dating, sex is involved. And then the sex could be good, but this person could be rotten. He may be a cheater. He may be abusive. He may be this, or she may can't take care.
Being stigmatized is a real thing.
Right. And you may can't take care. So you didn't got pregnant by a man, but you really didn't get to know him. So the process of courtship kind of guards you against really getting to know the person. Now, are you gonna know everything about them? No, because that's what marriage is about. You kind of learn and you kind of make a more educated decision. Do people get divorced through courtship a lot of times? Yes, they get divorced through courtship a lot of times. Do people still have sex in courtship? Yes, some people
they
get
get it
married.
in. They find their ways, right?
But the whole principle in the
How it's
process of
supposed
courtship
to.
is how it's supposed to go. Is
Okay.
you really me getting to really know me and saying, and it's okay if you say, well, now James, I don't want to court you. It ain't no blow. The blow is
Right.
lessened. It's mitigated because we didn't have sex. I didn't give you anything. I don't owe you nothing. You don't owe me nothing. You move on
Right.
to the next. So
that's
that's the process of
So
how
it's almost
courtship-
arranged
it's more-
as if you're saying to somebody within the nation, hey,
right. You saying
I'm
with
interested
somebody
in
within the
so-and-so,
nation,
and
and
then y'all, and
nobody,
then they kind of arrange that for y'all,
right,
so
right,
that
and then
you can
nobody
stay
knows.
within the.
Nobody knows we're in courtship because it could be interference or somebody want to
Right, so
holler at
nobody
you and
hating
say,
on y'all.
that nigga there. I only want to know why you talking about James, this, that, and the third.
And
So it's
Rick
so,
more of a
Rich.
level of
so it's kind of
discretion.
like when I
So
met.
that's how the process goes.
So it's kind of like when I met
Thank you.
mine, because the only thing that's different is I didn't have to tell nobody, and she didn't have to tell nobody she wanted to talk to me. Actually, I also do photography. So
Okay.
the club owner met her at her job and asked her to promote the club. So I DJ'd at the club, and I also took pictures for the club. So when I walked in the club, he asked her to come down. She brought like three or four friends because she don't go out. So she brought them to be with her. So when nothing happened, if something did happen, she got a friend. So she lived in another city. So she drove there, and he told her I would be there to take the pictures. I'm an asshole by nature. And so when I seen her, I'm just walking around and I said, hey, because she stood out like a sore thumb because she didn't look like no club. She didn't dress like the average women that go to club. So when I walked over to her, I was like, you the one that's supposed to be taking pictures? She said, yeah. Then I said, come on. You know, I'm an asshole because I got a DJ at 12. It's like, it was probably like 11:15. So I got to get in my whole ritual DJ mode. So I took her there, snap pictures, whatever. And I was like, all right. She was like, okay. So I was like, yeah, you'll get them. You know, I'm an asshole. So I said, you'll get them. So she walked away. So the next day I emailed her. She gave me her email, you know, and I sent her the pictures. And she said, yeah, bring me this one. I like number 3. I like 5. And I like 8. I said, okay. So I got them printed out, put them in my little thing. And I took them to Monroe, her city, and met her with the pictures. She looked at the pictures. She liked the pictures. And I had my camera. You know, I keep my camera in the car. So we went off, took other pictures. We ended up going to the zoo, hanging out and all that crap. Stuff I don't do because I'm too hard to go to the zoo holding hands and looking, walking around Home Depot looking at stuff. That ain't what I do. You know? And so I was like, it's feeling like I know her. So we just started going out like he said. Wasn't nobody buying nobody nothing. We asked questions about each other. Wasn't no sex involved. So you can also do that in dating. It's just that you have to have a more
disciplined.
Yeah, you have to have your mindset on what you want out of that. And being that me and her clicked like we didn't know each other from nothing, and actually felt like we knew each other forever. I wasn't just gonna do the I go out with you 2-3 times, then now I'm rubbing on your leg and hey, when we gonna hook up? You know what I'm saying? What's up? Hey, I went out with you 4 times. I don't get nothing, you know. So to keep from doing that, you know, you have to have your mind set on who you want.
You now knew that there was a connection there.
Right. So you have women that's to play and you have women that's to stay. And when you know it's somebody,
I agree. When you feel a connection and you know there's a connection, you treat that thing different.
Totally different.
You treat that
it
thing
ain't about
very
the sex.
different.
You treat it like courtship because I wasn't giving her nothing. She didn't give me nothing. And like I say, our first time going out, I think, and I don't eat McDonald's, but she had a sister that worked there and we got the hook up. So it wasn't like I'm going to know 2 for 35 and $50, $60, $100 a plate. I ain't do none of that. We just hooked up. It was more about a vibe of us being around each other. And I haven't felt that since 18, 19 years old when that heartbreak came. And when we were together, she could tell that I had my wall built up.
Yeah.
Because I was so hard. She was like, I'm feeling you, but I feel like you keeping something from me at the same time. And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you all my business because I don't trust.
Don't know you, woman.
I don't trust. And like I say, we were seeing each other for damn near 3 months before she knew my real name. She just knew
Right.
DJ Black.
That was so funny
You know
to me.
what I'm saying? That's just how secret I am. And like he say, nobody knows that they're dating. That's me. I'm secret. Didn't nobody know what I was doing, who I was seeing.
Yeah.
G and I were together 4 years before the club, people at the club, and everybody even knew I had it. She was living with me. That's just how secret I am. And then when I went public with it,
and then, yeah, you got to keep people out your business.
Yeah.
when I
So
went
you can
public with it,
treat your relationships like that.
I lost all
Or you're dating
of
like
my female promoters from the club.
What'd you say?
Wow.
What'd you say, Jay?
I
What'd you
lost
say,
them.
Jay?
I was saying that even in dating, you can treat your relationships like that.
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
Have to have sex. You don't have to do those things that you're talking about, giving gifts and all that, because if you have a connection with someone, then you are going to treat it special and different.
Right, but I was speaking on the lens of being in the organization, finding a mate, and how it operates and how it runs. Yeah. That's what I was saying. And let me say this: I wasn't. Jay, I apologize, but y'all on the podcast, that's in the chat. Me and Jay get into it, so it's what it is. Yeah. We're gonna blow up at each other, but Jay,
they still love each other regardless.
Yeah, it's still ain't number love. But I thought you was laughing at my religion. That's why, cause y'all kind of poking jab at
they do be messing with you, fam. They do be messing with you all the time.
Listen to her being missed.
But for real, she been on there.
You know, I got fam back.
But ain't yeah. My stuff that went out. But no, I was speaking on how it operates in the parameters of what I had, because we don't freely.
But like I say,
to the other side, and
the same way you do, a man with morals and a woman and with morals and standards gonna date and character are gonna date the same way. It's not about sex. And then when you're older, when you pass 35 and when you are in your 30s and you've been there, done that, sex ain't really that hunky-dory. You just trying to find somebody that you can click clack with, somebody that you can connect with, somebody. Hey, can I build with this person?
So all I was saying was don't put yourself in a box, because you limit your opportunities that way. It may be someone outside of your religion or outside of the mosque that you can date or get.
Not date. That you can courtship. You can go into courtship with.
So just don't limit yourself, because you never know what you're limiting.
And I agree with that, because you got brothers that have married sisters that's not that's outside of the mosque. What would that look
like if she wasn't?
Our minister, one of our ministers, well, it got to be some understanding, because one of our ministers' wife is a Christian, so it got to be some give and take. But you know, it's walking the thin line, because you got black people that's hard pressed on Thanksgiving. They're hard pressed on Christmas. So it's things that really got to be understood. That, you know, some things, you know, she may not bend on, I may not bend on. And the issue that I have had is that, you know, you got to find people with that middle ground. You know, I went to the far as you act too right, you do this. So I've had those things said to me. You on time. You know, I ain't gonna be on time, you know, but you know, it's okay. It's just better to have somebody in that's what the Christians say, equally yoked. It's better to have people that really understand your plight. That you go out and you go out somewhere and she ain't going on. We
need a Nation of Islam Muslim app for dating. Just for
they do. They have that. They have that.
Yeah, we
have. He just don't believe in dating apps.
Yeah, they
we
have.
No, he don't.
We have what they have socials. We have different socials. It's announced in the nation of different socials. Like we had a hookup the last week before I left of different single socials that I was on. That you got single Muslim. Okay. So I've been on. I've been on the Zooms to meet sisters. So it's an active process of meeting somebody. So that's what's been happening.
But what
we don't necessarily do that, you know.
What I also tell him, Chanel, is when you're meeting someone, these days and times, everybody is pretty much their own person, especially when you're 35 plus, 40 plus. You pretty much your own person.
Oh, yeah.
And growing up, everybody which was trying to be the same. We grew up with everybody being the same religion. If dad was Christian, mom was Christian. But then again, I seen for the first time, I had an aunt who was Jehovah's Witness, Church of Christ. So my aunt was Church of Christ, and her husband was Baptist.
Right.
And they would go to different churches. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, that was so weird when I first finally saw that. Yeah. And then she'll come home telling about what happened at church. He'll come home telling about what he saw at his church. And they was cool with that. Cool but, you know, in the beginning, though, when we were young, we didn't see that. It was like either you were all Baptist.
I'm Baptist, we going to the Baptist church.
We going Baptist. So I was saying with the world being, everybody being free and loving being free and loving their skin, the skin that they're in, they don't really want nobody messing with things like their religion.
Spirituality,
that's why it's better to meet somebody within those confines.
That's what I'm saying. But on the same note, it's better. It's always better. Just like it's better to drive a Lexus than it is to drive a Pinto.
And I shouldn't have to confine to the majority if this is something that I say, hey,
but on the same note, but what I'm saying, you shouldn't have to sell yourself short either, because if this person listen, man.
Let him listen.
Get off your little defense shit and listen to what I'm saying, baby.
This ain't no defense.
He on your side.
Yeah, I'm on your side. Listen to what I'm saying, baby. Calm down. I'm talking to Chanel. I ain't even talking to you.
Oh, okay.
So exit yourself. See how y'all you say ABC your way out of. Okay. So what I try to tell people nowadays, with everybody being in their own, the connection she and I have, if she would have been Jehovah's Witness and I'm atheist, I'm not gonna lose out on finding the love of my life because of a damn religion. Because of an organization. It's at the end of the day.
Yeah, but you directing that toward, but what you're saying, you're directing it towards me because of what I just said.
No, I'm not
saying that.
Baby,
that's what
I'm not talking to you.
But that's not what you're
not even on my mind right now. I'm talking to Chanel about my situation. Because I don't go to church. I don't go to church.
Me either.
I don't care for the church. But when I met her folks was into the church.
Right.
And she used to be like, we need to find a church home. I'm not looking for no church home. I've been going to church homes since I was 3 years old.
Right.
So if she want to go to the church and we need to put the kids in the church, well, this one ain't going.
Right.
But if you want to take this one and that one, they can go. But I'm going to be here with him.
Right.
You know, and I didn't let that exit me out of finding the love of my life because of the religion. The key thing in a relationship, she's gonna respect me, and we gonna get along. If this, my main thing is respect, because I grew up with a house full of men, and Chanel know, and the Austin know. When we grew up, them women, whether they was mad or whatever, they respected their goddamn husbands. And at the bottom line, whether they was unhappy, whether they knew he had babies by Sister Mary, whether he had babies by Clarice, they respected him though. When he came, when Big Daddy came home, his plate was fixed. When Big Daddy got up in the morning, he had them eggs with them little small sausages cooked and his cup of Trojans canned coffee that she had to make for him. And in one instant, she had the little thing.
The little percolator.
She had that. So the respect. So that's all I require. And when I'm in my relationship, I told her I don't require much. I don't require much, but I'm going to get respect. And you're not just going, with respect, meaning you're not just going to go where you want to go 24/7. There's going to be some respect in there. You're going to have to say, hey, you're not just going to jump up and leave the house right now and be gone. No, I need to know, hey, baby, I'm getting ready to go to Walmart and get the pine oil and some washing powder because I'm washing tomorrow. Oh, okay. That's fine. You know, it ain't just, hey, baby, where you at? Oh shit, I've been gone an hour. I'm at Walmart. When I leave here, I'm going to the dollar store. That ain't how I operate. Before that garage go up, I need to know where you trying to go. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a trust issue, it's a respect issue. Just let me know. Because it's like we were saying on one of the podcasts before you join, I need to know where you at, because if something happened, I'm the one that's gonna have to come and get you out. And then we in a state where and a city where she don't have no family and I don't either. So,
y'all got
when I leave,
y'all are who y'all got.
We got. So when I leave, I let her know, hey, I'm trying to go here. I'm heading out now. I realized we needed some soap. I'm on my way out. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what we do. So it's like you have to find a mate, whether they the same religion, whether they the same social status, whether they, you know, whatever. If y'all are gonna be together, you gotta have some common ground. And like the Austin was saying, I may have a list of 10 things that I want that makes the perfect woman.
Right.
The chances of me finding that 10 things in a perfect woman gonna be slim to none. So if I can
figure out what your negotiables are and what your deal breakers are.
And you don't have to be the only one negotiating.
That's
and
right.
Like I was explaining to him one time, my girl, she used to eat pork. I never ate, my parents didn't eat pork. So I grew up not eating it. So when I got with her, she used to have pork chops and tons of bacon in the morning. And I was like, sausage, I don't do that. So I started educating her on why I didn't do that. And guess what? It didn't take 6 months. No pork is in my house. No pork on my fork.
There you go. You
But
help her to understand.
if I meet somebody that don't do that,
value that, and so now she don't.
But the key
if I meet somebody that don't do that,
then she not for you.
Then ain't gonna have
then
no
that's
problem.
when you move
not
on.
for you then.
Now,
Everybody's not gonna be for you.
Well, listen to what I'm saying. If I meet somebody that don't eat pork, that got then I don't have that problem that I have to educate.
But let me,
her.
and also Chanel,
I don't have to do that.
Another relationship I was in, the same way. I don't eat pork, so she cooked 2 different meals.
Yeah.
They had their pork chop. I had my steak. They had their pork. I had my chicken. They had their pork. I had my fish. I'm not gonna sell myself short over a meal.
About you enough,
over a meal, because I'm man enough.
They
make sure you got what you need.
So, brother, the thing is, all we're trying to say is
that don't make you less than a man, because you got a lot of men in the nation that marry women in the nation. It's not
that's not what anyone's trying to say.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying, and it's easier, and it'll 8 times out of 10 it's gonna work. But with me being the go-getter that I am, I'll step out, but that's just me. That's not for everybody. My confidence, I can take somebody, I can take a woman that's
it don't have no lack.
I can take a woman.
It don't
the
have
only
no
thing I ain't gonna try to do.
It ain't have no lack of confidence. You don't have to compromise with that woman, because you can have all the confidence in the world. We're not talking about that. We're talking about somebody of the same. Your same
right, and I agree with you. I said that's easier.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not in defense mode.
Baby,
I'm not in defense mode, bro.
Don't
do that. Don't do that, bro.
I agree with you on that, and it's easy.
Don't do that, bro.
I said me
don't
personally,
do that, bro. Regardless of that, bro, I'm gonna end the broadcast. You keep it up, bro.
I can start it back.
All right.
I'm talking to Chanel.
No, you ain't talking to no Chanel, bro.
I'm talking
about religion, bro. I see what you're doing.
I don't think
you talking about you saying how hard it is. I'm telling you, bro, this what works for me.
Really?
That's what I'm telling you.
Really, Jay?
What you talking about, really, Jay?
Really?
That's what you're saying.
This is what I heard him say. Can I tell you what I heard him say, fam?
Tell him, Chanel, before I go start back talking to you.
This is what I heard, and then this is me from the outside. I ain't friends with neither one of y'all. We cool though.
Right.
But I heard him say,
"Don't be little me and calling me no. Don't be calling me no baby."
Listen to her, man.
Trying to demean me, bro. Don't do that. You're not listening, bro. That's what I do.
She was talking. You disrespectful. You cut off a woman.
That's what
they
I
do.
Don't do that, bro.
Do they cut women out the nation?
Bro, and that's what you're doing right there.
Bro.
You cut off, bro. That was disrespectful. She was talking. Don't do that. Don't do her like that.
No.
Take a deep breath.
Bro, don't do that, bro.
Don't do her like that.
Go ahead.
This is what I heard him say. I heard him say that it would probably be easier to be able to date from within the nation, even though we know you can go outside of the nation and still be able to find a mate for yourself.
Right. But you're not limiting
He was
yourself.
giving an example for himself, saying that, and it translated over to you in that even if you found somebody outside the nation, she will, if she's your person, she will.
You don't have to do all that compromising, but you don't have to do that.
Sacrifices for you.
If you in the parameters of what you believe in, you don't have to do all that.
I
don't have to have no woman moving in my house, cooking no pork, hanging, and I got to teach her that. That should, if I find a woman, but that is okay. But if I find a woman that's within the parameters of what I believe in, that is okay for me.
And that's beautiful.
That's not being, you can't be that I'm limiting myself. I'm not, because you got people that are inside. You got
limited never came out my mouth.
You got people that are in the nation that are married. That's what I was saying.
And I didn't never say you was limiting yourself. The person who actually said limit yourself was the author. The author. I never said you was limiting yourself. I said me personally, with the confidence I have, I can take a woman outside the nation.
It don't have nothing to do with confidence. You got men that got confidence
I'm talking
in the
about
nation
myself.
that marry Muslim women. That's what they do. They got all the confidence.
Dude, that's not what I'm saying. You on defense mode. I'm saying that.
Let me ask a question. Let this diffuse, settle down a moment. Let me
ask. We good. No, we good. I'm good.
So I know. So
I hate to see you back
in the mosque that you're in right now. What's the percentage of single male and single female?
You got the most of the mosques is married. You got a few sisters that are single. So you probably have a couple. You have a few. But you got some that across the nation that are not single. I mean that are single. So you gotta even kill. You're gonna have more women than you have men. It's a lot of sisters that are not married.
Right.
So it is.
That's nationwide though, right?
That's within this region.
You got access, and that's why I was wondering about whether y'all had access.
Right. It's within this region. It's nationally. You got women that are single.
Right.
So how do you connect with those women?
You connect with them through social gatherings. You connect with them. You connect them with them through social gatherings. We don't do no dating. We don't do what y'all talking about. That ain't negating what you got going on. That's not saying what you got going on.
Let me ask you this.
But I'm telling you,
do you go out to eat? Do you take out to eat?
Yeah.
Do y'all do movies?
Who out to eat? Yeah, everybody do that. That's in courtship.
Okay, that's the same thing they do at dating too.
Right, that's the same thing they do in dating. But a lot of times in dating, you're not intending to get married.
That's a lie.
That's not true.
That's a lie.
Most people who are dating,
I'm not saying all the time. I'm not saying all the time. I'm not saying all the time.
No, I have to disagree.
But you got people that date.
Every now and then.
They date 2 or 3
For the most
years,
part, even people who say they're not looking for courtship, and they're not looking for a mate, are usually secretly looking for a mate.
They really looking for a mate.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be out there seeing people. When people are not looking for a mate, they're not out there.
Right. They not taking them out to dinner. They're not taking them out to dinner. They're not doing dinner and a movie. They meeting at the crib. They Netflixing.
Right.
They Netflixing and chilling.
Even if you almost say so on the outside, you're looking for somebody.
Yeah.
Those are the steps to look for somebody.
Right. Yeah. But that's
usually the one that's not
in the world. And I explain the steps that you look for in the nation. That's how I explain.
Yeah, and then all I said was
how you do it is how you do it is how you do it.
Right. And all I said was in relation to that is I can take a woman that's into everything I don't like doing, majority of things I don't like doing, especially stuff like religion, eating pork. And I believe in educating because I have done it before several times. And I show them why I don't eat pork. Even if I have to put the pork chop out there in the sun and you see the maggots come out of it. If I have to do that, same thing I did with malt liquor. I stopped drinking malt liquor once I saw how they do it, and I showed other people, and my whole crew stopped drinking malt liquor.
Education is key. Once you learn better, you do better.
Once you learn better, you do better. So if that girl grew up on the farm and her mama was eating the pig from the rooter to the tutor, And then I say, well, this is why I don't. Then I show her the arteries, different people that eat that, who got the clogged arteries or that's on those medications where they high cholesterol medications. Because like I say, I used to when I was working out back in 2010, I was a gym rat. And every day when I got through, I worked out at least 4 times a week. And when I got off, when I left the gym, I always got a 3-piece white from Popeyes. And I did this for like 2 years straight. Went to the doctor, doing my regular checkup, and they said, hey, your cholesterol is through the roof. And start trying to put me on some Lipitor, some type of medication that I got to wake up every day at 30 years old, popping some goddamn pills. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. They say either you're going to do that or you're going to change your diet. Because to me, popping pills every day was something 60-year-olds did. And I'm figuring, I'm in the gym working out. So what I did, I stopped eating Popeye's chicken. I started baking my chicken, put it on a rack, it baked, the grease dripped off of it, and I started eating that. And next thing I know, I went and got checked out. They say, hey, I guess the medication's working fine. I say, no, sir. I changed my diet. And I have no problem. Like many people can't stop a habit. I used to be, like I told you, a functioning drunk. I used to be a functioning drunk because I DJ 6 days a week and I have to drink the DJ. But I didn't see that. And I did that for 5-6 years straight. So when I threw up in the new car, and was sitting out there in the car and the sun beaming down. I don't know how I got home. It was like 11 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm in the car with throw up, brand new car. We ain't had that car 3 months. It was her car, really. And I got throw up over on her car. And I'm sitting in there, she blowing my phone up. I got 30 missed calls from her, people checking to see that I make it home. I woke up and said, this is not for me. And I instantly stopped drinking. Everybody can't do that. When I went to the club, though, yeah, I had attitudes. Yeah, I noticed every smell. Yeah, I noticed everything that people came to me that I used to be dapping down. I'm like, I didn't know,
I didn't even know what was going on up in there.
and it was hell. But I quit cold turkey. Yeah. Everybody can't do that, and I understand that. Yeah. But I just say with the confidence, and it's like when I know it's something I want or something I need for my health, I got no problem quitting. You know what I'm saying? I'm not addicted to nothing. It ain't no cigarettes, no alcohol, no weed.
Yourself, dog.
That's it. I ain't addicted to nothing. Anything I can do without. And so I was just saying with the religion thing, because I know how hard it is to meet my 10 list. If she grew up on a farm eating pork from the rooter to the tutor, and she's everything else I want, I got no problem educating her, and then and
even if she made the choice to still
do it, that's her. But you're gonna cook mine in a separate chili.
Inflict that upon you, then you're good to go.
Yeah, and she's gonna cook mine in a separate chili.
And that's your thing.
Right. No. Listen, I'm saying
that might be his non-negotiable.
That's my thing. But I just say, because I had a bunch of non-negotiables, and so did the Austin. And I'm sure Chanel did. But as Chanel got grown and started realizing she was dealing with grown people that grew up different from us, and it is what it is. So just me personally, I'm not going to throw away a perfect, almost perfect relationship because of a religion or because of food. That's just me. I'm not talking to you. I'm just saying, I had a tough top 10 list, and even when I met her, I said I have rules. I said I have a list of rules, and she was like, "No, you ain't gonna give me no list of rules." But on the same note, I have a list of rules, and I'm a take it or leave it type of person. And so I'm not. My rules are not that hard because it's basically about respect. Yeah, that's all mine is. My whole relationship is based around respect. And what you do to me, I'm gonna do to you. So if I'm a firm believer in what's good for the goose is just as good for the game. I say as long as I got 2 arms,
that's my rule right there, dog. I got you on that one.
2 arms, 2 limbs, and I'm able to get out here and get around. Whatever you do, I'm gonna try to do better.
I'm trying to do the same thing.
And so, and that's just how I get it, because I feel like my whole thing about relationships, I feel like every relationship will work if you do unto that partner that you want them to do unto you.
Want them to do unto you, yeah.
If you
Need other
want to
people
have
to
male
raise
friends,
you,
let him
yeah.
have female friends. And when one of y'all get tired or whatever,
And weather bad.
negotiate and get out of it. But
bad out here
if
too.
she want to stay
Yeah,
out with her friends till 2:00 in the morning, I'm gonna
Yeah,
I'm gonna find me somebody. If I ain't with no
Mhm.
friends, 'cause I don't really do people.
Yeah.
I'll stay out to 2:00 in the morning by myself. It's
Yeah,
like
so-
whatever you
That's
do.
not a relationship that I would want to
Yeah.
be in.
So
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm saying that ain't no.
I
I'm
don't
just
invest
saying
that type of energy and nothing like that.
So,
right. But I'm just saying that's why I say then when one get tired, you get out of it.
I don't have to
You know
get
what I'm saying?
tired of it when we're not gonna start out. We're not gonna start it out like that.
Right. No, I was just bringing up an
I think
example.
usually when you present it in that way, because I remember.
hey, could y'all hear me? Could y'all hear
Yeah,
me?
we got you, baby.
Yeah, we got you.
Oh,
We
okay,
got you.
okay.
Okay. I remember
Yeah.
early in my marriage, he used to get up in the middle of the night and be on the chat room and all that. And so I remember getting up and be like, "Oh, what you doing?" I'm just in the chat room. I was like, "All right, cool." I said, "Well, tomorrow night I'm gonna get up and go get in the chat room."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, see, because whatever you can do, I should be able to do, as long as we keep it fair, right? Because if you're not doing what your element is doing, then it's okay for me to get up and do what you're doing, as long as I ain't doing nothing I ain't got nobody's doing, right?"
Right.
And
You think it's okay to do so?
just saying that out loud changed the behavior because he wasn't in the chat room no more. Because I was willing to do the same, right? If you want to stay out to one, then I want to stay out to one. If you want to have 5 different female friends, then I want to have 5 different male friends. I just want to keep it even, right? And that just illuminates the whole, I'm gonna do unto you as I would like to have done unto me. I don't treat me any different than you want me to be treated.
Exactly.
And it just needs to illuminate that.
So
Because
that's why I say
that he was trying to be disrespectful. I mean, I really don't believe he was doing anything he had any business doing. But when he flipped it around and thought about how it would feel for him, then he understood my side.
in relationships, that's a big problem I notice in a lot of relationships. The one they don't know how to put themselves in the lens of the mate,
the other person.
of the other person. They don't know how to do that. But then when
if
you
you
try
can
to
do that, like, oh man, that's gravy.
and that's one of the first things that you learned, I know, in your psychology, because that's what we learned. Is making yourself see what that person going through from their lens. And that's why and when you made that statement, y'all cool, I'm not neither one of y'all. And every time you speak, you say you see both sides of the spectrum. That's because of the education. Because I learned that in college when I took the psychology as a minor. They showed us how to, and when I'm arguing, I'm trying to relate to people. That's a good help because of the education part. Because a lot of people, it's hard for them to see what they're doing to the other person. Especially now, everybody's on defense. They're listening to respond instead of listening to understand. And so, and that communication gap gets there. And then when you get tired of fussing and arguing, you stop, and that gap just get bigger and bigger in your relationship. And then if it goes too far, that's where you break up, you cheating, I need to get out of this. We outgrown each other, so to be grounded, communication has to be there. And respect. My whole
all of that needs to be established in the beginning of the relationship, number one.
Well, you can establish as much as you
can
want
establish
to.
it,
You still have
but
to work
people grow.
You establish those things up front. And
right.
And then as you grow into those things, you start to build on that establishment.
But everybody's not in the beginning of things, everybody's not a great communicator. It's a skill that has to be learned if you didn't learn it growing up.
Yep. And again, that's where you establish how you're going to communicate, what you want to see out of that person in communication.
What if they
and
don't know
then
how to do it?
Then you start trying to work towards that. If
Right.
they don't
know how to communicate that,
but
they don't know exactly what they want.
But in a long-term relationship, like Chanel said on the previous podcast, she's not the same woman at 30 that she did. That she's not the same woman at 40 that she was at 30, and she's not the same woman at 50 that she was at 40.
Right.
So in relationships, you grow. In relationships, you change. I may hate.
In your initial onset, you start to establish those things, and then you start to build on those things, which means you continue to grow into those things. So if you don't know how to communicate, then you work on your communication skills. If you can't do it on your own, then you find someone that can help men, though, be like help assist in with you communicating.
Right.
So I'm a firm
Just,
believer
again,
in
that's great in
counseling.
theory, but in reality, everybody don't know how to do that.
Yeah,
Right.
And I went
That's
into
why
my
he
marriage
said
now.
seek somebody.
that's why a lot of
In my marriage,
relationships.
I
That's
yelled
why
and
a lot of
screamed a lot.
relationships fail.
You know, and yeah, they absolutely do. And sometimes it takes a failure in order for you to figure that shit out. Because I got told I went into my relationship talking the way my mother talked to people, and that wasn't proper way to talk to my husband, right?
Mhm.
And so it took me to go through that, and for him to say certain things, and me to not, he wasn't good at giving me good feedback either, you know. And so if he was able to give me better feedback, then maybe I would have, or if he had been doing what I felt like he should have been doing as a man, you know. So there's a whole lot of childhood junk thrown together into that relationship that did not get an opportunity to heal beforehand. But we didn't even know we was broken. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes relationships will bring that out of you and teach you that you are broken, right? And stuff. And so through that marriage, I learned a lot about myself, a whole bunch about myself, so that, you know, when I got out of it, you know, and had we been working together the entire time and all that kind of stuff, it probably could have lasted, right? I was willing to grow. He wasn't willing to grow, right? He was stuck in his ways and how he was. And so I had to separate myself from that. But I took what I learned and I did go to therapy. And I did continue to work on myself and all that kind of stuff. And that's what made me better now, right? I still have a therapist, you know. I continue to work on myself every day, all day, and try to be the best person I can be every day and all that. But that takes the conscious mind first. You have to know that there's an issue.
Right.
Into it, I had no clue that there was an issue.
And that'd be an issue too. A lot of people don't want to address that they have an issue.
Right. Because even when you recognize you have one, you got to be able to admit it and say, you know what, this is a problem. This is a problem. I'm talking to my husband crazy. This is a problem. Right. And so that meant I had to be around other women who said, girl, don't talk to your husband like that. You know, and I had to put myself in places where that people that wasn't hating on me was looking for me to succeed in my relationship. So it's so many dynamics, which is why community is important, right? Which is why as a therapist, I, you know, of course, and a no bullshit therapist, I straight up tell women that, you know, you can't treat that man like shit. Stop. How you expect to have anything in this relationship if you're not going to do the right thing on your side, you know? And so it's more than just, and I know, and what you're saying is actually, I'm not disputing what you're saying at all, but I'm just saying we're not looking at it in reality. Theories are great, but in reality, again, we come from families who were not, everybody wasn't raised like that. Everybody wasn't raised with parents who lifted them up, who gave them a voice, who allowed them to speak. And all that kind of stuff. And so those of us who wasn't, we had to figure that shit out while we was in this relationship or that relationship, you know, or I dated knuckleheads or allowed myself to be in relationship with knuckleheads because I had victim on my forehead, because I had low self-esteem, because my mama kept telling me I was fat. I was cute, but I was fat, you know, and stuff like that. And so I attracted bullshit, right? But until I started to build myself up, but it took me to be in a marriage where, you know, that didn't work out. So I had to figure out, well, what is it about me that I keep attracting this same bullshit, right? You know, and so
and if you didn't like that, you had to push it up.
Right. And most people get to that point. People come to therapy when they was like, you know what, I'm sick of this shit. Something got to change. I don't know what it is, but something got to change. You know, and
they have to want it.
And that's how you learn through those experiences. You learn how to love yourself. You learn how to love others. You learn how to communicate with yourself. You learn how to communicate with others. So all of that. So you can, at some point, you can tell people how you want to be treated or how you feel like to be, you know. So yeah, so that's how that happens. Yep, so that's what I was saying. Through those experiences you're able to build up to that point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and communication is a major key to that, and recognizing your fault in yourself and in that relationship. Yeah, because that was my issue in all of mine until this one. I could do no wrong. it is what it is, and you don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then it just took, well, friends like Phantom, he gets on me a lot. He used to get on me a lot.
I know you
And
do.
then
Hell, I still do. No, don't play
That's
that.
right.
That's still we gonna talk after this. So goddamn it.
no,
Yeah, that's
how
real.
about no
Hey,
inglés?
Jay, I'm gonna get Jay
How
ass
about no
too.
inglés?
How about
I'm
no
gonna get Jay ass
English?
too.
How about no inglés?
Shit,
But
I'm
and
get
listening
Jay
to
ass
her
too.
and where she came from, because I believe in my folks yell. We got hollered at when they didn't whip our ass. We got
Right.
cursed the
Thank
fuck
you.
out.
Thank you.
And so I was doing that to her.
Okay.
But she grew up where the yelling bothered her. So when I'm yelling at her, she tunes me completely out.
Be out. Mm-hmm.
And her mind going all over on what she finna do, getting away, doing this and that. And I'm just going out for hours. And then instead of she ain't hearing shit I'm saying. And so I was like, you didn't hear me say such. And then she would say, well, no, because when you start yelling at me, I tuned you out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to learn in a certain way. I had to talk to her.
Talk to her in order for her to hear you.
But my mom used to get a damn. Dad used to smoke. She'll pick up one of them thick glass looking ashtrays and just tuck it across the room and hit you in your back or hit you in your shoulder or something, man. And you know, it looked like little knuckles on. You know what I'm talking about? That ashtray with the knuckles. She'll throw that thing and blah. You know, so I grew up like that. She couldn't take the yelling, but that yelling don't bother me. Mom used to curse us out. You blight, such. We was used to it. But if I call her, if I say sorry ass, oh boy, she break down. I'm like, you're gonna have to be a little tougher than that. Now you sensitive, you know. You can listen sensitivity levels. so I had to learn how to communicate with her. But with all the other ones, I didn't take the time to learn none of that because
the connection wasn't there.
Yeah, it wasn't there. I'm like, if you don't like it, it is what it is, you know. And then when you find somebody that you had that connection with, and you know, and you like, well, if all I got to do is just learn how to talk to her, you know what I'm saying, to keep from losing her. You know what I'm saying? So let me, you know,
and that's worth it.
And that's why I say relationships, it ain't necessarily got to be hard work, but it's work. Period.
It is work.
It's work. I mean, we can jump in there and say, "Oh, it's work." If you got to make it work, if you got to put in work, then you don't really want that person. That ain't how it goes.
Anything that's worth something is worth working for.
You gotta work for it. And if something you doing, you getting the same results, you need to switch it up if you want to see different results.
Yep.
And it's okay to experiment here, experiment there. You know what I'm saying? Until you find what you're looking for. It's okay to test drive this car, that car, until you find the one that's more suitable for you. Because if you jumping out there thinking the first car or house you go and look at is going to be the one you want to spend 30 years paying on or 5 years paying on, you a sad individual and you're going to end up settling because you have to shop.
That might be a better house out there for you. That house needs to teach you how to take care of a house so you can be ready for your better house.
Exactly. Yeah. Because that's what I preach too. Everybody you meet is not for you to fall in love with and get married. Some people you meet is to show you how to communicate,
teach you the
show you what women are like today, open up, you know, just get you in touch with what's going on in the world today, how to communicate with a woman. Because the way you talk to women in the 90s, you couldn't talk to in 2005. The way you talk to women in 2005, you couldn't talk to them that way in 2010. And you damn sure can't talk to them the way you talk to them in the 90s. And right now, 2023, it's a totally different, you know, every generation, every 10 years, it didn't change. It's just not the same. The lingo not even the same. So it's like, it's changing. And either you're going to get stuck in that time warp where you in the 90s or in the 80s, in the 90s, saying that I can't talk to nobody because they not like my parents were, or you're going to have your standards, but have certain things you kind of bend with a little bit too.
You're going to make an adjustment to the times. But speaking of times,
we know time
the same way. I'm about to roll out.
Yeah, we finna clear the room. We appreciate everybody from Tastasia to Naquia What was the other girl that was on here?
Mandalee.
Mandalia. Yeah. Mandalia.
Kurt.
And the other one that came on that didn't get a chance to speak because we got too heated. Desiree. Desiree will probably be on here next week because she stayed on for a minute. She just couldn't get a word in. Y'all was going back and forth and
y'all be doing
clowning.
Man,
yeah, but
slow down.
we salute everybody who support the podcast, who came on and everything. And we'll be the same time next week. Shout out to everybody that's getting high and fucked up right now for that damn
Right.
shit. Like I say, they smoke every day, baby, but they get excited for 420. I don't get it. I never get it. But everything ain't for me to get, and I'm cool with that.
Happy 420, folks.
Happy 420. But we out, and we thank everybody for coming out. Anything? What's your closing remarks about the relationship, Jay?
I don't really have any. I think we touched on enough stuff tonight. Yeah. I mean, so I don't really have anything. We
hit it off.
On point.
Yep, I think we hit it off.
Okay, hey, that's a good session. Yep. All right, we out. We appreciate everybody. Till next week, same time. We out.
All right.
It's happening.